is Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. So I just wanted to plug JSU's Instagram. Again, it can be found at FSU JSU, and they'll be posting a lot of stuff. I know Hillel is giving out goodie bags, so they're posting a lot of resources for students. And they'll also be doing a fast break for Yom Kippur coming up. So just send out to any students you think that might be interested and let them check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Silva. With that, Senator Bateman.
Hello. I'm the liaison to the Medical Response Unit, the on-campus EMS service funded by the Senate. And I'm excited to announce that this week, the MRU is fully operational with student volunteers ready to respond to both emergent and non-emergent medical and trauma patients on the FSU campus. If you ever need to take advantage of this free service while on the FSU campus during 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the school week, please call University Health Service and they would be more than happy to assist you in any way they can.
Thank you, Senator Bateman. With that, Senator Yanam, you had a report to make.
Yes. This is on behalf of ASU. The Korean American Student Association is having an event on September 17th at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's to meet their new e-board as well as learn some Korean phrases. I'll drop the meeting ID and in the chat after this. And HEAL, which is Health Educated Asian Leaders, is having a guest speaker, which is Dr. Danielle Liz. She is an alumni of FSU and is coming to talk about her experience in medical school as an Asian student. So I'll drop all of this information in the Senate chat afterwards, and as well as DM it to Clerk Roy so it can be included in the Senate newsletter. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Yanam. With that, are there any further liaisons wishing to make a report at this time? Seeing none, we are now on the report of committees. So with that, Judiciary Committee, Chair Lecky, if you could please raise your hand so I could unmute you to make your report.
Hey everybody, we heard one candidate for the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, we will not be hearing them tonight because they did not pass. And we passed one piece of legislation, which I believe we will be hearing on the floor. So thanks everybody.
Thank you. So with that, we'll go to the Budget Committee report by Chair Dean.
Thank you, President Dardik. Budget met yesterday at 8 p.m. We heard bills 99 and 100. Both were passed. And with that, we'll be meeting next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Thank you.
All right, with that, we will go into the report on the Finance Committee. Chair Adamik, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance met on Monday at 8 o'clock, and we passed Bill 39 onto Judiciary. Bills 57, 68, and 75 were withdrawn by the sponsor, and we tabled Bill 87.
Thank you, Chair Adamik. With that, we will go into the Student Life and Academic Affairs Committee report. Chair Martin, whenever you're ready.
Hi, everybody. So Resolution 65 got tabled, Resolution 70 and Bill 100 passed. Thank you to everyone who came, and we are meeting again next Monday at 5 p.m.
All right, thank you, Chair Martin. With that, we'll be moving into the Oversight Committee report. Chair Gonzalez, whenever you're ready to make your report for the Oversight Committee.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Oversight Committee met yesterday at 5 p.m. We heard Bill 92 and passed it. And then we also heard 5 candidates for Medical Response Unit Director, and then OGA Internal Assistant Director and Deputy Director, as well as 2 Board of Director positions. They were all passed and forwarded to the Senate for confirmation today. We will be meeting next week, Tuesday at 5 p.m. once again to hear more candidates. It's going to be 8, so if you guys want to come and participate in the process, please do so. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Chair Gonzalez. With that, we will go into a Racial Inclusivity and Justice Ad Hoc Committee report. I don't think Senator Murcia is on the call. Vice Chair Gonzalez, if you wanted to say a few words in regards to what occurred in the committee, you are ahead to do so.
Yes, thank you. So RIJ met last Friday, I don't remember what time, but we passed Resolution 80 and Resolution 70, and they will both be heard on the floor today.
Thank you, Chair Gonzalez. With that being said, rules met prior to Senate. Pro Tem Harmon, whenever you're ready to make your report on the Rules and Calendar Committee.
Hey, Senate. So rules had 4 candidates for Senate. We passed 3 of them. One of them is currently tabled and will probably have to go through the process again because of a logistical error, which will get figured out. But hopefully you guys like the candidates that we passed. They were great. And we also got to Resolution 80, sponsored by Senator Mayman. That passed as well. And Resolution 78 was, I forgot to tell President Darldeek this, was withdrawn in committee. And that is all. Have a great night.
Thank you, Pro Tem Harmon. So with that being said, the Survivors Advocacy Ad Hoc will meet later this week. And with that, we are concluding the report of the committees and are moving forward into our Senate confirmations. So for this part, all candidates, when I say your name, could you please raise your hand so that I can give you an opportunity to be unmuted, and so that we can go through the process, and I'll explain it once I say all your names. So we have Gabrielle O'Brien for Medical Response Unit Director. We have Sophia Herrera, Office of Governmental Affairs Deputy Director. We have Sydney Mills, the Office of Governmental Affairs Internal Assistant Director. We have Rowan Abhari for the Office of Governmental Affairs Board of Directors. And we also have Ariel Trueba for the Office of Governmental Affairs Board of Directors. And we also have some candidates for confirmation for the Senate. Harmon, did you have those names? The ones that you guys confirmed in Rules and Calendar. I think I have their names, which I can state, but it'll just take us a moment just to get the seats. And so for the candidates, Ash Soto and Jason, Ash Soto, College of Music, seat 1, Jason Randall, Graduate Studies, seat 3, and Adrian Rigdel, College of Entrepreneurship, seat 1. And I believe the final candidate, Adrian, is for the Graduate Studies seat. But with that being said, all the candidates, if you please could raise your hands if you're on the call. I know that there's definitely more than 4 of you. And so I'm unmuting you for all the people who are on the call. And if I said your name and you didn't get a chance to raise your hand, please do so. But just to give you a rundown of how the process will go is we will begin with 5 minutes given to each candidate on the clock. You'll have 5 minutes. You will start your opening. And once you give your opening, any time that you have remaining on the clock that you choose to yield will be for your closing. After you finish your opening statement, we will go into a round of technical non-debatable questions. And after the round of technical non-debatable, we will go into questioning in regards to your position and then questions in regard to your character. And after we finish those lines of questioning from senators, we will give you guys an opportunity to be forwarded as individual candidates. And after you are forwarded, you'll all get a chance to give your closing, and then we'll vote on you guys individually. So that's just a quick rundown of the process that you guys will go through right now. But with that being said, if any candidates are on the call and didn't get a chance to stay unmuted, and please stay unmuted for the entire time, just so that way we don't have to play the game of me trying to tap and unmute yourself. But for all the candidates who I did mention, please make sure you raise your hand. And besides that, hopefully we'll be able to confirm you guys tonight. So with that being said, we will start with our first candidate opening, and that will be Rowan Abhari. Rowan, whenever you're ready, you have 5 minutes on the clock. And yeah. Oh, I need to unmute you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that was my bad. I muted myself again. Hi, everybody. My name is Rowana Pari. I'm a sophomore here at Florida State studying economics and Middle Eastern studies. Tonight, I'm being confirmed for a board of directors spot on the OGA board of directors. And I'm very excited for this position, hopefully to be confirmed, because I believe when you are on a university level and you are working to create change, which I know a multitude of people do in this room on different levels and in different capacities, you can do it through a system and extrajudicially throughout the system, outside of a system. And I believe when you bring the two together, you can really formulate the best way to create that sustainable change for whatever communities you're advocating for and that type of capacity. My favorite way to talk about it is through this collective liberation of everybody. When you liberate one group, you liberate another. And basically all that comes down to say that OGA is advocating on behalf of the entire student body, which I personally have been working to do through organizations like Power of We, SGA Executive Branch, Student Foundation, and through Service Leadership Seminar, being a Service Leadership Seminar facilitator. I'm very excited for all your questions, and I yield the rest of my time to my closing.
All right, candidate Rowana Pari, you yielded 4 minutes and 3 seconds to your closing statement. With that, we'll go to another candidate, Ms. Sydney Mills. Ms. Mills, you have 5 minutes on the clock whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Sydney Mills. I'm a sophomore studying political science and history and minoring in art history. I'm up for the internal assistant director position for the Office of Governmental Affairs. A little bit about myself. I've been interested in politics ever since I was younger. My mom's told me it was something that you can never avoid no matter what you did. And I realized early on that I wanted to be involved in the governmental process. Specifically with FSU and Tallahassee, I've realized that COVID has been a rude awakening for many, that Tallahassee is more than just FSU. So I would like to create a more community involvement with FSU and Tallahassee. I also want to expand FSU student outreach into the community and make sure our students understand their representatives and what they're voting for. I found that a lot of people have never really understood who the representatives are, nor have they ever talked to them in any capacity. So I would like to start more sort of town halls and forums to get that done. I currently work under the FSU Dems and the Florida College Democrats, so I'm connected to a lot of representatives on the Democratic side, and I'm more than willing to find representatives on the Republican side. So thank you all so much. I yield the rest of my time to my closing.
Thank you, candidate Mills. You yielded 3 minutes and 57 seconds to your closing. With that being said, we will go to our next OGA candidate, which is Ariel Trueba. Ariel, whenever you're ready, you have 5 minutes on the clock.
Thank you, President Darodik. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ariel Trueba. I use he, him pronouns, and I am right now in the process to be confirmed to be on the board of directors for the Office of Governmental Affairs. I am a third-year student from Miami, Florida. I am involved in different aspects of campus. This past summer, I served as a care ambassador. I am also currently serving as the Region 1 State Vice President for Phi Beta Lambda Business Fraternity in the whole state of Florida. I'm a mentor for Peace Champ Southeast, and I'm involved with the Cuban American Student Association. I serve as the project manager for Unconquered Scholars Program, and I'm also involved with the Hispanic Latinx Student Union. The reason why I am here is because I want to make sure that every student's voice is heard across campus, and the Office of Governmental Affairs does a great job at making sure that that happens, to make sure that everyone's needs are heard, and our local, state, and federal officials are well connected. I also set myself apart from most candidates because of my experience working with other politicians and all the connections that I have at different levels of government. So I look forward to speaking with you guys tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate yielded with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to his closing. With that, we'll go to our next OGA candidate, which is Ms. Sofia Herrera. Sophia, whenever you're ready, you have 5 minutes on the clock.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's nice to virtually meet you all. My name is Sophie. I am a senior here at Florida State. I'm studying political science and history. I'm from Miami as well, and I'm really passionate about OGA. Ever since my freshman year, I've been involved with OGA. I started off with being involved with Knowles Engaged in Politics, because I am very active in politics and in government and in the whole process. And last year, I was also in OGA as a member on the board of directors, and so I'm very happy to be considered for the deputy director position this year. I'm really excited to participate in OGA this year, especially in such an important year, an election year. I'm very passionate about getting our student voter turnout up, and it being an election year, I really want to make sure that I am in the position to make sure that students are aware of what's happening and that they are involved in the political process. And I also want them to be an active voice in the process of getting our legislative agenda to the Capitol to make sure that FSU students' voices are heard. In terms of my experience, I've worked in the Capitol with State Senator Jose Javier Rodriguez, and I've also been involved with multiple groups on campus to get the student voter turnout up, including March for Our Lives and Next Gen. So I'm very excited to be considered for this position, and I'm really excited to talk with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Herrera. You yielded with 3 minutes and 28 seconds to your closing. And with that, those are all the OGA candidates we have for tonight. So we will move into Ms. O'Brien. She is our Medical Response Unit Director. And so Ms. O'Brien, are you on the call? And you have 5 minutes to start. I believe you're unmuted.
Hello, thank you. Thank you all for welcoming me here and giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Gabrielle O'Brien, and I'm currently a senior here at FSU. I am majoring in IMS Clinical Professions, and I am from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, even though my family did recently just move to Dallas, Texas. I am currently working as a FIG leader and with a focus in pre-health, which means I meet with roughly 25 freshmen each week, and I introduce them to the academic culture here at FSU. I also work as an EMT at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital at the Bixler ER Center. I was elected by the members of MRU into the position of executive director. I have been a member of the unit since the fall of my sophomore year, and I have successfully completed the EMR and practicum courses to become a full-fledged responder. I've held various leadership positions in the past. I was on the e-board of AMWA, the American Women's Association, as secretary and communications chair. I am very passionate about the unit, and I would love to take this opportunity to give back, as they provided me with so many experiences and opened so many countless doors for me that I would have never imagined. And thank you all again for giving me the time to meet with you all today, and hope you all have a lovely night.
Thank you, Kendra O'Brien, and thank you for your service that you've done for us so far. With that, you yielded 3 minutes and 49 seconds to your closing statement. And we will now go into the 3 candidates we have for Senate seats that are currently vacant. Ms. Soto, Ash Soto, whenever you're ready, you have 5 minutes for your opening statement.
Hi everyone, my name is Ash. I use they, them, theirs pronouns. I'm a 4th year studying instrumental music education, and I'm here for potential confirmation for the College of Music Seat 1. I just wanted to let y'all know that I do have lots of previous experience in leadership, especially at FSU and at my former university. I came to FSU to create change, as well, not only with myself, but as well as the student body. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk to all of y'all tonight, even if it's through Zoom. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, candidate. You yielded 4 minutes and 25 seconds to your closing. Thank you, candidate Soto. We will move to our next candidate, which is Adrian Rigadel. Adrian, I believe you're unmuted. If not, I can make sure to unmute you. Adrian, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Great, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Sounds good. So my name is Adrian Rigadel. I'm also from Miami, Florida. I'm currently a junior majoring in commercial entrepreneurship. As you can guess, I'm running for Senate Entrepreneurship Seat 1, and I'm super excited because I just got into the commercial entrepreneurship major, and all the professors are great, and I want to be a leader, and I want to represent the students of the Jim Moran College of Entrepreneurship. I also think there's a lot to be done in that we have a lot of resources in Jim Moran College that should be accessible to all students, because every student's capable of being an entrepreneur. So that's kind of my take on it. Grew up to 2 French immigrant parents, as you can see by the flag behind me. I'm French, and I'm currently president of the French Club here at FSU. So if anyone wants to learn French, hit me up after this. And I'm super excited to be here, and I'm super excited to be hopefully representing my college. I'm also a founder of a startup called pottypals.com, where I ship plants nationwide. I was an intern at Bank of America last summer, which is part of my leadership development. I really try to help as many people as I can. And I'm super excited to be a part of this and hopefully talk more with you guys. So that's kind of a background on me. I yield my time.
Thank you, Ken. 45 seconds to his closing statement. And just a question, candidate Reguedel. Is that how I say your last name, or is there a different way to say it? I just don't want to
you can say it as Reguedel.
Reguedel. All right, I appreciate
Yeah.
it. With that, we will go into our final candidates opening. Candidate Randall. Whenever you're ready, you have 5 minutes on the clock.
Thank you, Senator President Darrell Deek. Hi, Senators. My name is Jason Randall. I am a candidate for Graduate Studies Seat 3. I'm also a master's student here at Florida State studying information technology with concentrations in leadership management and project management. I really think that Senate has a representation issue right now. Graduate students currently teach undergrads, work in our offices, live in our community, and account for 20% roughly of FSU's total student population, but have 0 representatives in the entire student senate. The 9 people or so they have in COGS oversee, I think it's like 5% of the overall budget. And I just don't think that's enough. I want to be in Senate because I think that graduate students deserve more representation, that their voice matters, that their opinions matter, that their experiences are a little bit different from some undergrads. Whether it be people in the College of Education to people in my college, the College of Communication and Information. There are issues like digital divide where graduate students don't have an opportunity to afford internet at their own homes, so they've been going to Florida State. But with everything online, that has changed and added a whole new expense for them. Something you wouldn't think if you don't spend 12 hours in the lab every single day. These are the types of things that I hope to advocate for. Additionally, in terms of my experience, I went to FSU as an undergrad. My major was information communication technology. I was involved in the big event Tallahassee for 3 years on their executive board, leading marketing efforts for 2 years, and then their volunteer engagement and community relations efforts for the last year. I was also involved in Hello at FSU, participated in SLC stuff, film club. So I've definitely, been involved in campus life for a while. Professionally, I've been a marketer for about 6 years. Anything in the digital marketing sphere, I don't design it. Don't ask me to design graphics. But I really think I have the aptitude to be able to stand up. I have a lot of ideas. When you're asking me questions, please feel free to ask me about specific legislation and specific resolutions that I'm interested in. I've got a lot of ideas for that. Thank you so much. Yield my time.
Thank you. Candidate yields 2 minutes and 38 seconds to his closing. I appreciate you for making your statement. With that being said, we are now in technical non-debatable questions, senators, for all the candidates. If any senators have any questions that they would like to ask of the candidates, please make sure you specify where the question is going to be directed so we can assure that the correct candidates are doing it. And senators, please, if you are able to turn on your camera, that would be greatly appreciated, because we do have these guests on the call with us tonight who are being interviewed for different SGA positions, and it would be at least respectful to give them an opportunity to see your faces. So with that being said, if there are any technical non-debatable questions by any senators, please just raise your hand and I will recognize you. Senator Akonda.
This is a question for all the candidates. Are you all financially certified or plan on taking the financial certification exam?
All right, and so with that, I'll direct the question to each one just so we don't get lost. Candidate Apari.
Yes, I am.
Candidate Mills.
I'm planning to by the end of the month, but not currently.
Candidate Cueva.
Yes, I'm planning to.
Candidate Herrera.
I am planning to.
Candidate O'Brien.
Yes, I am.
Candidate Reguedel. Oh, he's muted.
Yes, I am certified.
All right. Candidate Randall.
Yes, I am.
Candidate Soto.
I plan on doing it by the end of the month.
All right. So with that being said, are there any further technical non-debatable questions, senators? All right. Seeing none, is there a motion to go into questions in regard to position for the candidates? Senator Conda? I didn't hear you, Senator Conda.
That's so moved.
I appreciate it. Is there a second? Chair Gonzalez.
So seconded.
All right, with that, we are now in questions in regards to the position for the candidates. Do any senators at this time have any questions for the candidates in regards to their position? Please just raise your hand. Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, this is directed to the three Senate candidates. What communities besides the positions you guys are applying to do you plan on representing?
All right, with that being said, candidate Randall, you look pretty excited, so you can go ahead and start us off.
Yes, I take pride in saying that I am an orphaned Latino Jew, and that pretty much resonates through everything that I do. There are a lot of people that have lost cousins, have lost siblings, have lost parents, and I have that experience. I have that unfortunate experience. There are a lot of people that know what it's like to maybe be of Latin American heritage or Hispanic, but may not speak the language or may only speak the language. And I know a little bit of what that's like. And I've been, a Jew for as long as I can speak. I was involved in Hillel at FSU, always supporting issues that are pro for combating hate speech, Islamophobia, combating anti-Semitism, people that are just trying to tear, Christians and Catholics down. So that's something I'm really proud of.
Thank you, candidate Randall, for your response. With that, candidate Soto.
I plan on advocating not only for obviously my college and obviously for all the identities I identify under, but as well as other identities. Like, for example, especially what's going on campus with the racism, and the discrimination with many different people. I plan on advocating to hopefully end it, if not stop it, as well as many different areas that I'm personally not educated enough on. I plan on educating myself so I can be that support system for people and be there for others. So yeah.
Thank you, candidate. With that, we'll go to our final Senate candidate, which is candidate Rigadel, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I want to be a voice for my college, for the students. I'm personally a first-gen French American, so advocating for all the French people out there. There's not a lot of French people at FSU, but those who are here, definitely. And I want to be a voice for all the people that face, injustice, racism, and help them out. So with everything that's been going on, it's definitely something I want to talk more about if you guys don't talk about it already. Hopefully you do.
Thank you, candidate Rigadel. Are there any further questions for the candidates in regards to their positions? If there aren't any questions for any of the candidates, I will be accepting a motion. I'm entertaining a motion in regards to moving into questions about the character of the candidates. Chair Gonzalez.
I move to go into questions of character.
All right, is there a second? Senator Rudolph.
So seconded.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to moving into the questions in regards to character? Seeing none, we are now in questions for character. Do any senators have any questions that they would like to ask the candidates? Vice Chair Rudolph, did you have a question? No? All right. Do any senators have a question in regards to character? Chair Gonzalez.
Yeah, so can everyone, all of the candidates, describe a time in their leadership capacities that they encountered a conflict or a struggle, and how did they overcome it?
And this was for all the candidates? All right, so with that, we will start with candidate Herrera, whenever you're ready.
Hi, yes, thank you for your question. One of my leadership positions was last year in OGA. I was on the board of directors and I was in charge of the Garnet and Gold Votes initiative. In the beginning of the semester, we were trying to get more of our voice out, trying to find ways that we can get the students involved with OGA and just kind of introduce OGA to the school. You know, a lot of people don't know about OGA. And so I took a leadership position on that, and I organized a lot of Market Wednesdays, and I also organized a bunch of meetings with other groups and other unions to talk about what OGA does and how they can get involved, and also talk about our legislative agenda. As a leader, I feel like I am very organized and I plan ahead. And so that is something that I will definitely bring to the table if confirmed.
Thank you, candidate Herrera. We will go on now to candidate Mills. Candidate Mills, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So yeah, most of the struggles that I've had in my leadership capabilities are not capabilities, but positions are struggles with communication. Some organizations I'm in have really big committee boards, and it's hard to get conversation to flow with them. So usually when I have struggles with that, I usually am just very blunt and communicate it through, just lay out exactly what I need to get done so that we can respect everyone's time in order to move forward. Communication and involvement are really important to me in leadership. So that's what I put my strength in, and I hope that I can also do that within OGA. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Mills. We'll next go to candidate Abhati. Candidate Abhati, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. I appreciate this question because I believe conflict resolution is huge to your leadership ability. And so I'll reflect on an issue that is really close on the timeline. And also some people in this room might be aware of that this summer there were a lot of clashing identities, clashing stories, clashing passions. And it was something I was aware of, but it's something that made me realize even further that if you're a leader, you don't automatically gain people's trust, you don't automatically gain people's confidence, and you don't automatically gain their following. And so no matter how well you think you've maneuvered spaces, no matter how powerfully you think you sit in the space, or no matter how many name tags you own, there are people who will inevitably push you and urge you to gain their trust. And I had to do that with certain communities this summer, and whether it's in reflection of my own identity or other identities. And essentially it showed that you do have to take 10 steps forward to really give people your trust. And that's not a people problem. That's just how leaders should be treated, because I think we give too much to leaders and we just say, just take it and run because, we're taught representative democracy is the best. We got a little bit of American bias in us, but that's fine. But you really have to take 10 steps forward to get everybody to be on your page. And then you also have to listen empathetically all the time. So having that at the forefront in every situation you do is super important, and it's something that I got reinforced this summer, and I'm ever appreciative for it.
Well, thank you, candidate Abhati, for that response. I appreciate it. So with that, candidate Trueba.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd say this past summer, like I said earlier, I served as a 2020 Care Ambassador, where I served as a role model and a mentor for incoming first generation students through the Center for Academic Retention and Enhancement's Summer Bridge program. And I had to work virtually, but one-on-one with students. And I was often brought with problems. And, one time there was this really big situation where I saw myself in that I had to reach out for that student and contact external connections within the department to get them the adequate help. And I believe that if I am confirmed for my position, the board of directors, I think I could do that as well with any students that might be in need, whether that be specific legislation that they want to see passed, or just connecting them with the adequate resources. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, candidate Trueba. With that, candidate O'Brien.
Yes, thank you. One situation that we did have when I was on the board of AMWA, we unfortunately had our vice president who had to step down in the middle of the semester due to personal issues, and we had to continue running the organizations without a VP. That in itself brought up various problems, and we had to figure out who was going to do that work. So we were able to come together as an e-board, talk it out amongst each other, and we were able to divide up the position. And that way we were able to still function as a unit, function as an organization without having that VP. So with that, I would just like to say that I think communication is key, hearing each other out and ensuring that all the needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate O'Brien. Next, candidate Rigadel, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I really like some of the previous candidates' response, and I think that conflict resolution is super important, and that establishing trust, as Ron said, is super important when you're in a was in the French club, and we came across this issue with the whether or not we were going to have fees and dues for members. And so we were all kind of perplexed as to what to do. And as Candidate Mills mentioned, I think being honest about what's important, so we can an arrangement and really everyone's within. I'm not sure if everyone can hear me. Hello? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. You're chopping up a little bit, but we do hear you. We're getting the gist of what you're saying.
Okay, great. So we came to a resolution, and we ended up not putting dues because not only do we not have a lot of French speakers at FSU, but making them pay to be a part of our club would not bring them back. So solve that issue, and so.
Candidate Rigadel, you definitely cut out completely at this point. I don't know if you finished responding, but we can definitely come back if you feel like you would like to say any other words. So with that, we'll go to our next candidate, Candidate Randall.
Okay, so conflict resolution is obviously very important. I see that y'all have a bunch of OGA directors on the line today, so I guess I'll talk about something that I did involving government. 3 years ago, I threw out a mission statement. Just threw it out the door. It didn't belong there. We were with the big event, Tallahassee. We had started to have regular meetings with Leon County government, with the Community and Media Relations Department, and specifically with Volunteer Leon, the volunteer entity of Leon County. These are the people that do the volunteer emergency preparedness response and all that sort of stuff, and just general volunteer activities in the community. And we heard something from that. We heard that after 10, 11 years of doing whatever we were doing, that our mission statement did not align with what the community needed. That Frenchtown and the Bond neighborhood and the South Side needed people that weren't just going to give back on one day each year. They were going to give back year round. And these small things weren't just going to do it. You know, just promoting let's write cards and things on campus. You know, they were great ideas, but we needed something bigger. So we wrote the whole mission statement. We took input from the Center for Leadership and Social Change, from people at Division of Student Affairs, from people at different colleges, and especially from Volunteer Leon. They said sustainable service is what you need. And when you realize the statement that DSA released this past summer about creating opportunities for students to be involved in sustainable service throughout Tallahassee, they're directly referring to the relationship that we created 3 years ago when we threw out the mission statement and said that, no, what we're doing is not working. That I don't care what feathers we're going to ruffle, but if it's not helping the community, if it's not making the impact, if we're not doing it in the spirit of collaboration and of compromise, and of community, that it's not worth doing at all. So that's what we did. We added new events in different parts of the year. We created intentional opportunities. We worked with Homecoming to create a new avenue building off of the idea of character to give back to the Tallahassee community. How do you do that? We improved Homecoming by doing something that they already cared about. These are the types of things I hope to bring to Senate, because conflict resolution isn't about just hitting a goal, it's about exceeding a goal.
Sorry, I was muted, but thank you, Candidate Randall. I appreciated your response. And I think finally we have Candidate Soto, but right before Candidate Soto goes on, I just did want to say Candidate Rigadel is having just connectivity issues because of the weather. I know the weather by me is definitely crazy. It's pouring. So if anybody else has any connectivity issues, just please let me and Pro Temp Harmon know. And, we'll make sure to help you out in any way we can. But with that, Candidate Soto, whenever you're ready.
Hi, yeah. So last semester I was a part of an e-board called with an organization called Coping Through College, basically about helping students navigate through homesickness and stuff with the course of bringing our own dogs to campus and stuff for events. And so since we actually had to take a hiatus the semester prior, we had to figure out how to rebuild the organization. And like that was kind of like our conflict because we didn't know where to start. And then so since most of us were a part of different organizations already, we took some ideas from our other organizations that we were a part of and tried to see if like that would work with our organization. And I specifically remember I asked one of my RA friends if they wanted to have an event where we co-sponsored with them. And unfortunately that didn't work out, but we had another event that happened and it went so well. Like over 20 people attended. People wanted to get involved with our organization. And I just thought like the conflict of having to start up with such little things and having such a big turnout for one small event that we did just meant a lot to us. So yeah.
All right, so with that, Senator Akonda, did you have a question?
I had my hand raised by accident.
Okay, no worries. But do any other senators have any questions in regard to character for the candidates? If there are no further questions, I will be.
I'll ask a question though. Why not? So a question for all the candidates would be, what motivates you guys to do what you're doing now? What is it that makes you so excited to like take this new position?
Yeah, I think we would like to start with candidate Randall. You can go ahead and start us off with this question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Senate President. People, plain and simple. People are my reason for doing this. Graduate students need a voice graduate students have a voice that needs to be heard. Their voices aren't heard at the Board of Trustees meetings when they go in, they try to bargain and negotiate, and they have their own union. I don't know if y'all knew that. Their voices aren't heard when they're really trying to get certain policies pushed across campus. Their voices aren't heard when they're struggling to have the right study spaces or access to resources, and they deserve that voice. More importantly, more than just graduate students, every person who's ever been put down and every person who's ever, had a label put on them, they deserve that voice. And that's why I'm doing this, because it's about them. It ain't about me. It never was. It never will be. And that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm not doing this for the name tag, not doing this for the polo, the shirt, the title, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing this because there are people out there that don't have the same opportunities because nobody's listening to them.
Wow, thank you. So with that, we'll move to our next candidate, candidate Soto. If you're ready, you can go ahead.
I have to agree. It's not for myself. It's for my people. Regardless if we look the same, talk the same, if we don't look the same. I want to use my voice for others that feel like they can't or they feel like they're not being heard. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to our final Senate candidate, which is candidate Rigadel.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Great. So similarly to candidate Randall, I'm doing it for the students. I'm really doing it for them. There's only a few commercial entrepreneurship students, but I'm not doing it just for them. I'm also doing it for every student at FSU because, like I previously mentioned, I think every student is capable of being entrepreneurial. Every student's able to create businesses, have ideas, solve problems. So I really want to get the entrepreneurship word out there, and that more people know about the college and what they're bringing and being a voice for our current students.
Thank you, candidate Rigadel. With that, candidate O'Brien.
Yes, I'm doing this for my responders and for the patients, not only for the FSU community, but for the students, the faculty. I truly just want to give back because they have, again, opened so many doors for me. I would not be standing here actively working as an EMT if it weren't for the medical response unit. I want to take that knowledge that I have gained working in the field in the middle of a pandemic and apply it to the responders and ensure the safety of not only them, but for the patients, which is also the FSU community. I'm doing this for them, and I want to make sure that not only we're running as a unit, but running safely. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate O'Brien. With that, candidate Herrera, whenever you're ready.
What inspires me and what I'm doing this for is really the students. I have met so many amazing students at FSU in my years here that have just incredible ideas and fresh new solutions to problems that we've always had on campus. And I think that they're not often listened to. Oftentimes we get told as young people or as students as a whole that we're too young or too inexperienced or that we do not know enough about the real world to make active change on campus and in our communities. And so time and time again, since I've been involved in the political process and since I've been involved in government, I've seen what type of change and what type of accountability that students can hold to their elected officials. And so that is why I'm doing it. They've inspired me, and I really want to open that door to all of our students on campus to become active in the political process and to use their voice for good change.
Thank you, candidate Herrera. With that, candidate Trueba.
Yes, I'm doing this because I want to continue representing all the communities I'm part of, whether that be the Hispanic Latinx community, the community of many first-generation students here at FSU, to students who have experienced homelessness in the past. Like I told you all, I am part of the Unconquered Scholars Program, which is a program for students who have been in foster care, homelessness, or what are the state status. I had the great opportunity of going to Washington, D.C. This past last fall to represent Florida State and speak to higher education administration officials. And I feel like if I could do that, I could definitely do it at the local, state, and federal level for all students at FSU and their different legislative priorities. So that's why I'm doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate. With that, candidate Mills.
Thank you. Yes. So what motivates me are my own experiences. When I was younger, I identified mostly with my mom's political views, and it wasn't until my sophomore year of high school that I decided that maybe those weren't the views that I held and I had different ones. And so I really want to expand to the student body ways that they can find their own political identity. I think that is so important, and there's nothing more rewarding than being in-person grassroots like voter registration and voter campaigning. I did that a lot my freshman year here at FSU, and I just became so passionate about increasing civic literacy amongst our student body, and I would love to help do that within OGA. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Herrera. With that, our final candidate on confirmation, which is candidate Awana Bahati. Whenever you're ready.
Sure. I like this question because I like to bring like two opposing ideas that people probably wouldn't tie together and bring them together. First one is, I'm sure a lot of people or some people have heard the quote, "You have nothing to lose but your chains." So that is something that I strive by, and I'll connect it to the second one in a second. This will make sense, I promise. And so we all live in a multimedia world, very heavy. You have endless TV shows, you have endless podcasts, you have endless, you might have Netflix and you might have Hulu. Like basically it's this huge generation of creativity. And basically what is all that? It is all something that came from somebody's mind, because we as human beings at the foundation are storytellers, which is pretty cool. So if you have nothing to lose but your chains, and we are endless storytellers, and you bring them into one, then that is your ability to maneuver the world ideologically challenging what is all around you. And when you're able to do that, and when you put yourself in every space able to do that, you can really, I think we don't allow ourselves to go that far because we are so bound by the systems we're underneath. But when you allow yourself to go into that space and create different worlds for yourself and for your community, and know that it is the community who takes care of you and nobody else. You don't need the powerful to be the ones who protect you. It is you and it is your community. I think that's what OGA represents in a small capacity, just as well as so many other organizations and so many community, organizations, and just what people embody in themselves every day. So if you can expose that on every level, I mean, who knows what could come. So I'm just pushing for that.
Well, thank you, candidate Abhati. With that, if there's a motion to forward the candidates or any further questions, Chair Dean.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I move to forward the candidates individually.
All right, with that, is there a second? Senator England.
So seconded.
All right, are there any objections to forwarding the candidates individually? Seeing none, the candidates have been forwarded. So with that being said, we will go into giving you all an opportunity to, give your closing statements. I will remind you of the time that you yielded for yourself from your opening. And then once you all finish doing your closing statements, I will call on you one last time. You'll say your name, the position you're going for, and then individually we will take a vote on each candidate. So with that being said, Candidate Abhati, you have 4 minutes and 3 seconds on the clock for your closing statement whenever you're ready.
Hi, Rowan again, going for OGA board director, or director on the board. And so basically, just to close out my statement, this is a system that I think we can really do a lot of good work in, and I'm excited for the team that is up for these confirmations because I think we can really work well together to bring a lot, given all the crises that our university is facing more outwardly than before. They've always existed, but they're just definitely, have a light shine on them right now. I appreciate all the work you all do in this space. I know we all work in tandem in our own different little silos to do our own thing, and y'all do it to a great capacity. And by that, I mean, take care of your mental capacities because it matters the most. But I'm excited, and I look forward to hopefully being confirmed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Candidate waived the rest of her time. With that, we will move on to our next candidate, which will be Candidate Mills. And Candidate Mills, you have 3 minutes and 57 seconds on the clock whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for your time tonight. It's been an honor to talk to you all. I'm really excited for what we could possibly do with OGA if I get confirmed. I talked to everyone who's been appointed or been confirmed on the board through the oversight committee, and they all seem very great, and I'm excited to be able to work with them. If I'm not confirmed with this position, I'd still love to be involved with government on campus. So thank you all again so much, and I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. The candidate waived 3 minutes, 34 seconds. With that, we will go into our next candidate's closing, Candidate Trueba. And you had 3 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to thank the entire SGA Student Senate and the Oversight Committee for giving us this opportunity to listen to us and see why we really want to do this. I truly hope that you could consider me for the Board of Directors of the Office of Governmental Affairs. And with that, I yield my time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Candidate yielded 13 seconds. With that, we'll go to our final OGA candidate for her closing, Candidate Herrera. And you have 3 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Sophia Herrera again. I'm going for the Deputy Director for OGA. I always tell people that OGA is the best organization on campus. It's two of the things that I'm most passionate about, FSU and government. And so I'm really, really, really happy to be considered for this position, especially in a time like this where our campus is seeing so much change, our community is seeing so much change, and our country as a whole is seeing so much change. I really want to reach out to students to involve them into the political process and to make sure that their voices are heard. So thank you all again, senators, for all of your time and all of your questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Herrera waived the 2 minutes and 46 seconds left on the clock. And with that, we will go into our MRU candidate for Director, Ms. Gabrielle O'Brien. Whenever you are ready, you can go ahead and give us your opening statement. I mean, your closing statement.
Yes. Yes, thank you. For my closing statement.
You had 3:49 on the clock.
Got it. Thank you. For my closing statement, I would just like to reiterate, thank you all for giving me the time to hear me out and allowing me to be in this meeting. I just want to say that I'm, again, very passionate about the unit, and I would love to take this opportunity in the position to share my knowledge working on the front lines and ensure the safety of not only the patients, which is the FSU community, but also for the responders to ensure that we can stay an active functioning unit in the midst of this pandemic. I am very fortunate for the opportunities they have all given me, and I would love to give this opportunity to give back to a unit that I'm forever grateful for. So I just want to say thank you all again for hearing me out. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week and stay dry out there. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate. Wave 3 minutes and 7 seconds that you had left on the clock. With that being said, we will move into our Senate candidates. Candidate Randall. Randall, whenever you're ready, you may go ahead, and you have 2 minutes and 38 seconds on the clock.
2 minutes and 38 seconds. That says something about how long I speak. I speak too long. All right. Thank y'all for listening to me tonight. I really appreciate it. Just by having me here, and I know the seat's weird. I know that that having a graduate student here is a little different. It says a lot about this body. It says a lot about who you are. You don't push anybody out. You don't call anybody anything. You put them in there. You say you want to help. We'll put you, grab a seat. Here's a seat at the table. And I really appreciate that. And it means a lot to me. Whether I'm confirmed or not, I'm going to continue to work on behalf of graduate students. Just this Friday, I'll be attending the American Library Association, working with informaticists, teachers, librarians, just to see some of the things that they're passionate about and see how I can help their community. And yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've seen just throughout this entire process is that from the executive to our Senate President, Pro Temp, and especially to our chairs, there are some incredible leaders that are ready to do some big things, make some big changes on behalf of students that are struggling and could use a little help. Thank you. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. Candidate waved a minute and 22 seconds that he had left on the clock. We'll go into our next candidate, Bigadel, whenever you're ready. You had 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock.
Great. Thank you, President. So I want to thank everyone. I'm just super grateful to be here, and I'm amazed by all the candidates and how well spoken they are and what they want to do. And you're all leaders, so I'm super grateful just to be a part of this virtual meeting. And I'm hoping we can get a lot of things done if I'm confirmed. And I really want to be a student voice. And whether or not I get confirmed, I will continue being a voice for the students and for the entrepreneurs and for the French American students here at FSU. So thank you all for your time. And it was great talking to some of y'all.
Thank you. And for our final closing statement for tonight, we will hear from candidate Soto. Candidate Soto, you have 4 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock whenever you're ready.
Hi, y'all. It's me again. I just want to say thank y'all to everyone that decided to come out and hear me tonight, specifically to the Rules Committee and everyone that's in this meeting tonight. I just want to thank y'all so much for letting me speak on my behalf, as well as letting me present myself to y'all. And yeah, I really hope to make much change throughout this position with my college and just with my peers. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Candidate waived 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Thank you. And so with that, we are going to be in line to vote on the candidates individually. So I will state the name of the candidate. The candidate will state their name and their position. And once they do so, you will be in line to vote, and I will remind you. But yeah, so we'll do that for all 6. I think it's 8 candidates total that we have for tonight. So we'll do it for all those candidates. And so with that, we are going to begin with candidate Abhari.
Rowana Pari, OGA board member.
All right, and so with that, senators, you are in line to vote. Yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention. Yeah.
There should be 36 votes, so we have 25 currently. Senator Lewis, make sure you vote. Senator Hall. Senator Fahey. Okay, we need 3 more votes. Two more votes.
We're just waiting on Fahey that I see. I'm not sure who
Senator Hall. Fahey said he was having Wi-Fi issues, so it might be.
And the second one is Hall.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll put them as no votes right now. If y'all can hear me and you can't vote this way, okay, Fahey voted yes. Okay, so that's another yes. All right, vote reads 32 yes. Oh wait, yeah, okay, I got you, Fahey. Vote reads 32 yes, 1 no, 1 abstention. Hold on, I gotta write down the no's, sorry. And the abstention. All right. 32 yes, 1 no, 1 abstention. Candidate does pass. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, candidate. This does not mean that you can leave the call. All candidates after the vote, if it passes, please stay on the call until all candidates are voted on, because you guys will all be, sworn in together. So with that being said, we will go on to our next candidate, candidate Mills. Whenever you're ready, just tell us your name and your position.
Sydney Mills, OGA Internal Assistant Director.
With that being said, senators, you are all now in line to vote. Yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
All right, that's 33 out of 36. We need we need 3 more. Who are we missing?
We still have Hall missing again.
Okay, he might have stepped away.
Lewis.
Senator Lewis.
He just voted, so
Okay.
Lewis is good.
All right, so we have the amount of votes. So 30 yes, 0 no, 5 abstentions. Oh, I should stop calling it before I write it down. My bad. Sorry.
We still have Hall as a no vote, by the way.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
All right, perfect.
I have a feeling he's just stepped away. All right, vote reads now 30 yes, 0 no, 5 abstentions. Candidate does pass.
Congratulations, candidate Mills. We'll go to our next candidate, which is candidate Herrera, whenever you're ready.
Sophia Herrera, OGA Deputy Director.
All right, senators, you are now in line to vote. Yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention. Senator Waters, please vote.
Senator Hall, Medley Nera,
Yanam,
Senator Gertz, we're just missing Senator Gertz. Oh, he should be here.
candidate Hall's or Senator Hall's also missing. I guess he stepped away for the time being.
Oh, it had 30 yet? Okay, it just lost one. Okay. So Gertz is, oh wait, did I get a text now? Gertz Hall. Okay, 2 people voted. Okay, I guess you guys did vote. Okay, awesome. With a vote of 31 yes, 0 no, 5 abstention, candidate does pass.
Congratulations, candidate Herrera. With that, we'll go to our final OGA candidate, which is candidate Trueba. Whenever you're ready.
Ariel Trueba for OGA Board of Directors.
All right, with that being said, senators, you are now in line to vote. Yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
I'll give y'all a little bit of time to vote before I call. Senator Hall, okay, we have 34 out of 36. Somebody did not vote now, and I don't know who. Or somebody's not here.
We're at 36 now.
Oh, okay, okay. I got 1 no, 2 abstentions. I'm missing an abstention. There we go. All right. Vote reads 32 yes, 1 no, 3 abstentions. Candidate does pass. Congratulations.
Congratulations, candidate Trueba. We will now go to our candidate for MRU, Ms. O'Brien, whenever you're ready.
Gabrielle O'Brien for Medical Response Unit Executive Director.
All right, with that being said, senators, you are in line to vote. Yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
2 more votes, please. Two more votes. Who's missing? Senator Lewis. Senator Chabot. Those are the two I'm missing. Oh, now I got them. All right. Vote reads 35 yes, 0 no, 1 abstention. Candidate does pass. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ms. O'Brien. With that, we will be moving into our Senate candidates. And for these candidates, I just want you guys to consider everything they said, please, because these will be people that will be joining us all in the chambers. So just, take that into consideration when you are, making sure that you make the decision that will best help the student body. So with that being said, we will start with candidate Randall.
Jason Randall, candidate for FSU Student Center Graduate Study C3.
Thank you. And so with that being said, senators, you are in line to vote yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
All right, a few of you haven't voted. Keep voting.
Senator Stinson, Senator Yanam.
There we go. We're getting them. 2 more votes. Oh, myself. All right. Let me just write down the abstentions. All right, with 32 yes, 0 no, 5 abstentions, candidate does pass. Congratulations.
Congratulations, candidate Randall. With that, we will now vote on candidate Rigadell. Could you please state your name and your position that you're going for the Senate seat?
Adrian Rigadell, Jim Moran College of Entrepreneurship, C1.
Thank you, candidate. With that, you guys are all in line to vote. Senators, yes is for yes, no is for no, and go faster is for abstention.
Yeah, I think everybody's voted. Just give me a second. All right, with a vote of 30, why do we have an extra vote? Wait a minute, somebody came in that I don't know came in. Hold on, keep your votes there. Did somebody come in and they didn't tell me?
Trying to see if I see a name that just popped up, but.
Because we had 36, now we have 30. Am I counting wrong? We have 37, right?
We have 37 votes, but it looks like, because I'm checking over all the votes right now, it looks like they're all senators who voted. But I'm not sure what senator popped in. I'd say if you want, just take a video of the participant list with all of it, and then
Yeah, I'll just look through
you
it.
can find out who that one person was.
All right, just give me a second. Oh, 1 second. All right, with a vote of 32 yes, 2 no, 2 abstentions, candidate does pass.
Thank you. The candidate passes. With that, we will go into our final candidate for confirmation. Candidate Soto, could you please state your name and the position you're going for, and then we will go into our final vote.
Ash Soto, College of Music, seat 1.
With that, candidate is, we're now in line to vote for that candidate. So yes is yes. Here, I'll clear the vote. Yes is yes, no is no, and go faster is for abstention. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay, right now we have 31, if I counted that correctly. Oh, now we have 32. Oh,
33.
33. Well, we have 37 now.
Senator Promozic hasn't voted. Senator Wilkinson. Those are the two I see so far. I think we might be. We're at 35 now.
2 more votes. And if you haven't voted, it would be pertinent to know that.
Chabot hasn't yet.
Senator Chabot, okay, there. Just got it.
I think that's it. I don't see anybody else who hasn't voted.
Okay, so that's still 37, okay. Oh, I don't know who came in. If I happen to get a text from someone that came in, I won't be mad. I'd just like to know. All right. Vote reads 28 yes, 3 no, 6 abstentions. Candidate does pass. Congratulations.
Yeah, so with that, congratulations to all the candidates. You have now all been, voted on, and now you are up for confirmation in the aspect that the pro tempore will read and swear you all in with the oath of office. But I think we can give him just a moment after recording all those votes, just to pull up the words that he'll be using y'all to swear.
I memorized them.
Get it memorized. Better than me. I don't have it memorized yet.
All right, please raise, oh, okay. Okay, I haven't memorized this part. Candidates for student body offices may choose to replace the words on pain of, so help me God with on pain of impeachment. Do you understand? All right, awesome. Now, can I have all the candidates raise their right hand, please? I, please state your name. Oh, are they muted?
I don't know. Are they mute? I'm trying to unmute them all, but you guys can say it so we can hear you.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Ash Soto.
Hi, Jason Randall.
Promise to support and defend.
Promise to support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States of America.
The Constitution of the United States of
America.
The state of Florida.
The state of Florida.
Florida.
The state of Florida.
And the FSU student body.
And the
FSU student body.
And I shall perform my duties to the best of my ability.
To the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Woo! You guys do virtual claps, real claps. You know, that's exciting. Congratulations to all the student leaders. I know that for the OGA candidates, I know the Senate, we look forward to working with you all on a comprehensive legislative agenda to push the student body forward. You know, that's what we're all here for. MRU, I honestly look forward to seeing the work that you do. And for our Senate candidates, thank you guys, you know, for joining us. Welcome to the family. And yeah, you know, we'll get you guys acclimated. We'll have conversations with you all after, you know, this night is over. But with that, all the candidates who are not senators, you are allowed to leave. You can go about the rest of your nights. I hope you have a great one. You guys can stay as long as you'd like, but you do not have to. For the senators, all three of you are now a part of the Senate. You are now, you know, voting members of the, you know, the Student Senate. And with that, you know, comes a responsibility to be accountable for what you do in these chambers. So I do want to leave that, you know, with you to think upon. But with that being said, welcome. And, you know, I know that me and Pro Temp Harmon will be available for all three of you to kind of get you acclimated and oriented into the Senate and, you know, understanding the rules and the procedures and just all the different pieces that you'll need to be a successful senator. So with that being said, I know Chair Dean wants to unlock the calendar so we can get to one piece of business, which is the SAP allocation. I know he has 2 exams, so he has to hop off. So that's why he wants to do it. But with that, I will be entertaining his motion. Chair Dean.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. With that, I move to unlock the calendar to hear Bill 100.
Did you mean Bill 99?
Sorry, yes, Bill 99. Sorry. It's been a long day.
Okay, with that, is there a second? Senator England.
Seconded.
All right, is there any objections to the unlocking of the calendar? Seeing none, the calendar has now been unlocked. We are in Bill 99, which is sponsored by Senator Dean. It's an allocation of money, $15,000, designated to the Student Academic Programs committee that met for the academic programs in the 2020 and 2021 fiscal year. It was referred to budget on 9/9 and passed in budget on 9/15. So with that, welcome the sponsor to the floor, Chair Dean. That is the piece of legislation. It is being shared by Pro Temp Harmon. But Chair Dean, you have 5 minutes for your opening statement whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. Thank you, Mr. President. So this is a very simple bill, probably the easiest bill I've ever written because it was given to me to create. So thank you to Student Body Treasurer Hall, who had met and did all the work for this. He had an organization, a group of individuals come together to hear the different requests and then deliberate to determine which would be the best way to allocate. So, and then in that they determine like who would need the most money based off the request, and that can be seen there in the individual allocations. With that, if there are any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and I yield the remainder of my time to my closing.
Thank you. Senator yields 4 minutes and 22 seconds to his closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions, senators? Seeing no technical non-debatable questions, I will entertain a motion to move into pro-con debate. We need motions to move forward, guys. Senator Wang.
So moved.
Senator England.
Second.
All right, with that being said, we are now, if there are no objections, we are now in the first round of pro. Seeing no objections, we're on the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Does anyone wish to speak in the first round of pro? Any senators? All right, seeing none, we're in the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock as well. If there are no senators wishing to speak in con, I will entertain a motion to call the question. Senator Abston.
Yeah, I move to pass by unanimous consent.
We can't do that just because this is with money.
Call a question.
I appreciate it. With that being said, Senator England.
Seconded.
All right. So are there any objections to the calling of the question on Bill 99? Seeing no objection, we are in line to hear the closing statement from the sponsor with 4 minutes and 22 seconds still left on the clock. You may utilize them as you please. Chair Dean.
Thank you so much, President Dardik. Thank you guys for letting me unlock the calendar. I appreciate everyone's time. With that, I'll yield the remainder of my time.
All right, the senator waived the 4 minutes and 11 seconds left on the clock. With that being said, we are now in line to vote. Senators vote yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
All right, to my knowledge, there should be 39 people in here. 40 if Senator Gonzalez gets back.
And senators who were just confirmed, you guys are able to vote as well. Senator Soto, Senator Rigadell,
Senator Hall.
And congrats to everyone this is their first vote.
All right, we're at 37. We need 3 more.
We're waiting on Rigadell. I don't think he can see the yes, no options. Yeah, he doesn't see them. So I'll just make sure he messages you.
Yeah, if you message me in the chat, that's fine. I can just count that one. Whatever your vote is. Okay. So, all right, need 2 more votes. Oh, wait, yeah, still two more votes. Who are we missing? Well, actually 1 more because Gonzalez is on here. And I did vote.
Only one I was seeing was Rigadell. I don't know. I think you voted Harmon, so.
Yeah. Okay, somebody left then because everybody seems to have voted.
I think we're missing one, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know who. So
Hanks, Gabrielle Hanks.
She's
No,
not.
she's
She was
not.
a senator.
Oh, Senator Soto. Oh, what? Oh, okay. Oh, Senator Gonzalez is back. Yeah, Senator Soto voted. Senator Gonzalez, we're just waiting on your vote, as well as someone else's. But I'll just count that as. I'll try and find someone's no vote later. All right, 37 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions. Candidate does pass. Oh, not candidate. I'm sorry. Bill does pass.
All right, so Bill 99 has passed. Is there a motion to go back to the order of the calendar? Senator Abston. Oh,
So move.
thank you. Is there a second? Senator Rudolph.
So seconded.
All right, with that, we are now in back to the order of the calendar. We just finished Senate confirmations. The consent calendar, PAC and RTAC did not meet and did not process any requests this week. Bills on first reading. Bill 39, sponsored by Senator Sohos and Leckie, amending student body statutes. Amending student body statutes, chapter 807.6K regarding funding boards, budgets in the fall, referred to finance, then judiciary in 219. It was tabled in finance for a couple of weeks, and then it was passed in finance on 9/14. And so now it's in the Judiciary Committee. Bill 57, sponsored by Sohos and Adam Meek, is amending student body statutes 807.6, clarifying advertising regarding RSOs, was withdrawn in finance on 9/14. Bill 68, sponsored by Senator Sohos, amending student body statutes chapter 807.6 regarding RTAC, was referred to finance and judiciary, but it was withdrawn in finance on 9/14. Bill 75, sponsored by Senator Sohos, amending student body statutes chapter 807.6G regarding travel funding limits, was referred to finance and judiciary, was also withdrawn in finance on 9/14. Bill 87, sponsored by Senator Ryan, amending student body statutes 802.4 with regards to public advertisement of events, was referred to finance and is tabled in finance. Also, Senator Ryan has actually resigned. Therefore, his piece of legislation is, just going to sit on the table unless a senator would like to take it upon themselves to sponsor it. But until then, it'll just be sitting on the calendar. Moving forward, Bill 92 was sponsored by Senator Alvarez, Chabot, and Murcia, amending student body statutes, chapter 304.3 with regards to the candidate screening process, referred to judiciary. Then the oversight committee, then rules, and was passed and amended in judiciary on 7/13. It was tabled in the OC committee on 7/14, and it passed and was amended in the OC committee on 9/15. So it is now in rules. Bill 98 was amending student body statutes, chapter 413.3, regarding the renaming of the Student Senate Excellence Award to the Danielle Acosta. Student Senate Award for Excellence was referred to judiciary, and then rules and calendar on 9/2. Bills in second reading. Bill 58, sponsored by Senator Sohos, amending student body statutes 807.6G, clarifying funding to organizations, referred to finance, then judiciary. Tabled in finance for a while. It was passed in finance on 9/9 and passed in judiciary on 9/14. Welcome the sponsor to the floor, Senator Sohos, Chair Sohos, to present his opening statement for Bill 58.
So I just found out who left, and that is Sohos, yes.
Well, okay, well, if the sponsor's not here, it's automatically tabled. So Bill 58 is tabled on the floor for now. And hopefully next week he'll be in attendance and he'll be able to present his piece of legislation. With that being said, we will go to Bill 82, sponsored by Senator England, amending student body statutes, chapter 300 to 302. Lavender moved to put a bill on first reading, seconded by Lecky. No objections. On 4/15, it was referred to judiciary, and then it was passed and tabled in judiciary on 6/1, and then it was passed and amended in judiciary on 6/23, and it was tabled on the Senate floor last week, 9/9. Sponsor England, you are able to do your opening. You have 5 minutes on the clock whenever you are ready, Senator.
Thank you. So thanks for bearing with me, everyone, last week. I know we passed the 3 kind of counterpart bills, sister bills, if you will, to this last week. This is the final one from the executive branch. They are restructuring. A lot of these things are already in practice. I think that is the biggest thing to say. This is a hefty bill. I won't lie, it is long. You will have received several amendments in your email that was accidentally emailed to you, but actually in the end it worked out because it's now via Zoom and it makes it all more difficult. So amendments have been emailed to you. We tabled it last week because we wanted to make some amendments. We weren't happy with it as it was written. So we have gone back through it. And hopefully these amendments make sense. I can explain them as we get through. But yeah, I think the biggest thing to mention is all of these things are already being done. These people have been in position since fall. It's just as you guys, I'm sure you can understand, it takes a while to update statutes and to actually make these changes. So the executive branch have done their due diligence in coming to us, wanting to update the statutes in regards to what they're doing. And so I look forward to any questions. It is a long bill, so I expect questions. But yeah, thank you, and I yield.
All right, Senator yields 3 minutes and 29 seconds to his closing statement. With that being said, are there any technical non-debatable questions, Senator, for the sponsor? If nobody has any questions, I'll entertain a motion to go into pro-con debate. There we go. Senator Abston.
So move.
Senator Rudolph.
So seconded.
All right. Are there any objections to going into pro-con debate? Seeing none, senators, we are now in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Do any senators wish to speak in the first round of pro? Senator Mujay?
Yes. I'd like to make an amendment to Senate Bill 82.
All right. Can you please state your amendment?
I'd like to amend it, take out section 301.1.
You want to take out the entire 301.1 from the executive
Votes
office?
and the vehicle through which the student body president and vice president execute their constitutional power and carry out their amendments, programs, projects, and agendas.
Okay. Can you please send that to us in the chat to myself or Pro Tem Parman, just so we can actually have it and send it to the rest of the Senate?
It is also in your email. I will just mention.
Oh, okay, perfect. We can share the email instead.
I just did chat as well.
All right, with that being said, is there a second to Senator Mouget's amendment, which is the first one that is listed, that is highlighted by the pro tempore? Is there a second to her motion? Senator Rudolph.
I second.
All right, so with that being said, does the sponsor find it friendly?
I do.
All right, and the motion has been accepted. Senator Chabot.
Yeah, I object to the motion.
All right. With that being said, there isn't really a need to ask for the objection just because the sponsor already accepted it as friendly. And so it's automatically, from my understanding, adopted, but we can allow the parliamentarian to give us some more insight just in case I missed something.
Yes, Mr. President, Rule 1012B, if the motion to amend is objected to and/or the sponsor does not find the amendment favorable, debate on the primary measure shall halt and the Senate shall consider the amendment as a standalone measure.
All right, okay, perfect. So with that, we will go ahead and give the sponsor of the amendment a 5-minute opening. So you'll do an opening statement, you'll discuss the amendment as if it's a piece of legislation. And with that, then we will go into, technical non-debatables, pro-con debate, and do a vote on the amendment itself. So we're going one layer deep into the piece of legislation. With that being said, Senator Mouget, you have 5 minutes on the clock for your opening statement in regards to the amendment to Bill 82, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay, so this amendment is making the changes that the primary sponsor, Senator England, already stated, which our executive cabinet is already doing. These positions are already in place. This amendment is just adding to this bill that is making these positions into fruition. If you guys have any questions throughout this, I'll be directing these to the primary sponsor of the bill, which is Senator England. I yield my time.
All right, sponsor of the amendment yields 4 minutes and 36 seconds to her closing statement. With that, we're in technical non-debatable questions. Senator Chabot, did you have technical non-debatable?
No.
All right, if there are no technical non-debatable questions, I will be entertaining a motion to go into pro-con debate. Is there a motion for pro-con debate, or are there any questions? Senator Gonzalez.
I'd like to pass a motion to go into pro-con debate.
Thank you. Is there a second for that motion? Senator Rudolph.
So seconded.
All right, so with that, we are in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Do any senators wish to speak in the first round of pro on the amendment? Seeing no senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro, we are now in the first round of con on the amendment. Senator Gonzalez. Okay, Senator Gonzalez, are you able to unmute yourself?
There you go. Thank you. I just want to let the whole Senate know, I want to loop you guys in on this. Judiciary proposed this amendment and this amendment passed in Judiciary. Although the sponsor did not find it friendly, this was proposed and it went up to vote. It was a whole motion and it passed in Judiciary. So this would be undoing exactly what Judiciary meant to do. This is literally a transparency issue because it passed, a committee voted to pass this amendment, and now we are trying to erase something that we already voted on. Take that as you will, but I think we should respect the committees and respect the work that they do. And this was passed for a reason, but with that I yield.
Thank you. Chair Gonzalez yields 2 minutes and 14 seconds to this round of pro. Vice Chair Chabot, whenever you're ready, you have 2 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, so as Chair Gonzalez said, with this amendment and with most of the proposed amendments tonight, things happened in judiciary, whether it was adding language or taking out language that we debated on, we voted on, and we considered it heavily. And we did not make those changes to the original bill lightly. And for the sponsors to come in and undo all the work done in committee is honestly a little disrespectful to me and my committee, considering all the hard work we did throughout the summer. So you can see with this First Amendment, that verbatim language was exactly what was placed in that section in judiciary. It was not in the original bill, but we placed it in there. We debated on it. It passed judiciary. So to take it out is honestly a little disrespectful. I yield.
Thank you, Vice Chair Chabot, yielding with 1 minute and 29 seconds on the clock. Senator Little.
Yes, I also just wanted to state that this was, for this amendment particularly, this exact language was added by the Judiciary Committee, and to take it out in a full Senate meeting after the Judiciary Committee voted to add this particular language seems counterintuitive and like it wastes a lot of people's time. So with that, I yield.
Thank you. Senator yields with 1 minute and 1 minute and 7 seconds left in the first round of con. Do any other senators wish to speak in con of this amendment? With that, if there are no objections proposed, I will be entertaining a motion to call the question on the amendment to Bill 82.
I have a point. Hold on.
Oh, go ahead. Pro Tem Harmon.
Yeah, sorry. I tried to message you. My bad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a point of information for the sponsor of the amendment. What exactly does this wordage do? What does it change? Does it change much? Like, what's the issue with this one?
Am I allowed to answer that, President Aldi?
Yes, the point of information is directed towards you. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so this one isn't too big a deal. The problem with this is it's just we like to streamline statutes. We like to make statutes as easy to interpret as possible. And this, in the eyes of myself and the executive branch, just confuses things, makes it more confusing than the original verbiage that was proposed. So that is basically the answer. It doesn't change much practically. It is just a the simple answer is we're trying to make things less confusing and streamline statutes and make them simpler to understand.
Senator Chabot with a point. Just please make sure you state the type of point you will be making.
Yes, point of clarification. Judiciary added in this language to give constitutional backing to the executive cabinet and the office of the executive president. We felt that it gave them a stronger case to have these positions instead of just assigning duties to them that should be on the president and vice president. This allows them to have grounds to delegate those duties to other officers. That's why judiciary put it in there. And you can actually find that in the judiciary minutes for June 23rd, 2020. Thank you.
Thank you for your point. With that, we still have 1 minute and 7 seconds on the clock for the first round of con. If there are no further points, no further comments that would like to be made in pro or con, I will be entertaining a motion to call the question on Amendment 1 for Bill 82. Senator Wang.
I move to call the question.
All right, is there a second? Senator Little.
I second.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to the question being called on the amendment to Bill 82, Amendment 1? Seeing no objections, we are in line to vote on Amendment 1, yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention. And so if you vote yes, you're in favor of the amendment. You vote no, you are not in favor of the amendment. And if you abstain, you have a moral conflict of some sort that does not allow you to make a yes or no decision. And the vote for amendments is a simple majority. So keep that in mind, senators.
Hold up. let me use a calculator because I'm not doing this. Okay, that's 36. We need 2 more votes. Somebody is missing.
Senator Tooks and Senator Wilkinson.
We still need those 2 more votes, but if not, I can put y'all as a no vote. That's fine. But I'm gonna take pictures because too many to write down. All right, vote reads 18 yes, 17 no, 1 abstention. Vote, amendment does pass. Just don't take it away. I need to take a picture quickly. Oh, yikes. Not bad.
Uh-oh. Yes.
Oh, okay. Who voted last minute? Was it Wilkinson or Tooks? Okay.
Who's Tooks?
Okay, Wilkinson is the no vote. I just got. All right. Considering this is a tie vote now, in 18-18-1, that means the Senate President is empowered to break the tie-breaking vote.
Well, okay. This is my first vote as president. Definitely stressful situation. I definitely want to err on the side of caution, and respect the work that's being done in committees, and respect the fact that that's what we constantly urge. We urge our committee members and our senators to do work in committee. And if the Senate felt like the Senate Judiciary Committee felt like this piece of legislation and that specific amendment was necessary to make clear that about the statutes and the powers that the student body president and vice president have, I definitely have to stand by them and vote no. And so with that, Amendment 1 will be failing.
Oh, wait. Oh,
What there?
Senator Wilkinson voted.
So does that mean this is?
Okay, I recommend voting again, having every single person vote exactly the way you wish to vote. I think that is the best way we can do that.
I'll clear it. Start over, please.
Considering it is a very contentious thing. All right, so please, everybody vote again. Okay. Please vote again. Sorry, y'all. We just gotta do it again. Senator Wilkinson. Okay, now I gotta take more pictures. Wait, did everybody vote? That's 36. We need 2 more votes. 37, 1 more vote. Who are we missing? Come on. Please vote. Somebody's missing. Oh, Stinson was kicked out. Can you tell him to text me his vote, like real quick? Oh, he's coming back. Okay, he's back in. But his vote on this. Senator Stinson, we're just waiting on your vote so I can take pictures. All right.
Senators, the vote is now locked in, so please do not change anything. You can go ahead and announce it, Pro Tem.
Yep. Vote reads 18 yes, 20 no, 0 abstentions. Amendment does not pass.
All right. So with that, we are back in the round of pro, the first round of pro on Bill 82 with 3 minutes on the clock. Is there anyone wishing to speak in the first round of pro? I am going to clear, just so I can clear the vote and get it off the screen, so those senators who did raise their hand to speak, just do it again. Senator Gertz, did you want to speak in pro?
Sorry, y'all can hear me, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was going to move to remand this back to judiciary due to the fact that we are having quite a few amendments. I don't like doing amendments on the floor, and also the conversation seems to be dominated between the sponsor and the Judiciary Committee. So I feel like that would be a more respectable place to have those discussions.
Thank you for your insight. And is that a motion that you're making, Senator Gertz?
Yes.
All right, with that being said, is there a second to that motion? Senator Chabot?
I second.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to Bill 82 being remanded back to committee? Senator Hall, do you object?
Oh, I don't object.
All right, no worries. Senator Adams?
Yes, I object.
All right, with that, we will take a vote in regards to, yeah, it's a debatable motion and it's followed by a simple majority vote. Okay, so with that being said, we have the right to debate this, which means that Senator Adams with the, or Senator Gertz, I apologize, with the objection will present on, or not the objection, with the motion to remand it back to the Judiciary Committee, will have 5 minutes to make his statement and, you know, the reason why he wants to do as such. And then we will go into, you know, technical non-debatable, pro con, and just treat this as well like a bill because this is a debatable motion. So with that being said, Senator Gertz, seeing that there was an objection made, you have 5 minutes on the clock to, you know, give your opening statement on the motion that you made. Good.
All righty, good evening, Senate. I'll make this kind of short. Basically, I motioned to remand it back to Judiciary because I noticed that a lot of the conversations that we were having were about the Judiciary Committee, when we were really being asked to vote on something that happened in committee, but this time on the Senate floor. I think that takes up a lot of our time. We have a lot of important things to be doing, and understanding that this is not time sensitive. It doesn't seem to really need to happen right now. If it happens next week, it doesn't affect it. And we do have certain things on sort of our schedule that are more pertinent to right now. I think sending it back to committee offers no real negative sides and just allows us to have that conversation in a place that is smaller. It's easier to communicate, easier to talk in a small committee, and also so that the vast majority of these amendments can be dealt with in that committee, because I think to some extent, amendments on the floor should be special things that happen because something happened or because there was something that slipped by. I tend to not be very favorable to large amounts of amendments on the floor. I think we should do work in committee. And so that is why I move to remand it back to the Judiciary Committee. With that, I yield the remainder of my time in my closing.
Sponsor yielded 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Are there any technical non-debatable questions in regards to the motion to remand back to committee? Seeing no technical non-debatables, is there a motion to go into pro-con debate on the motion? Chair Gonzalez.
So moved.
Senator Mayman.
So seconded.
Are there any objections to going into pro-con debate? Seeing none, we're in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in pro of the motion to remand back to committee? Oh, Harmon, you can go ahead, Pro Temp. You have 2 minutes on the clock. 3 minutes.
Yes, let's not waste time. Let's let the Judiciary Committee do its job, look it over. No big deal. I yield.
All right, with that, 2 minutes and 56 seconds still on the clock. Any other senators wishing to use that time in pro? Senator Waters.
Thank you, Mr. President. But once again, I think we're just wasting time on the Senate floor. Obviously, this is a conversation that needs to be had between Judiciary and the sponsors. I personally have no standing on this because, quite frankly, I don't understand it. And so I think by sending it back, it would provide the Senate a much more definition of what exactly this is. So, yeah, with that, I yield.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Chair Waters. Senator Waters, you had 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, so 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Vice Chair Chabot, whenever you're ready.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, just send this back to us. We already did the work, but we're glad to do it again to make sure this bill is the best bill it can be. Like I said, we made these amendments. I don't know why they're trying to be undone, but we're happy to have the conversation again if need be. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Chabot. With that, 2 minutes and 11 seconds still left on the first round of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to speak? Chair Gonzalez, 2 minutes and 11 seconds whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is also like, if we compare it, this happened in the summer, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, sponsor, but it's a whole new judiciary committee, I feel like. So I feel like conversations can be fruitful in the committee if we do send it back. So with that, I yield.
Thank you, Chair Gonzalez. 1 minute and 53 seconds still left on the clock. Any other senators wishing to make a statement in pro of the motion to remand back to the Judiciary Committee? Seeing none, we are now in the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con on remanding back to committee? Senator Mouget.
Yes, thank you. I just kind of wanted to get something kind of out of the way. These amendments and proposed amendments by no means are in any disrespect to any sort of committee. I appreciate the hard work you guys do. That's what we need to be doing in Senate is the committee work, and I commend you guys for doing that. This is simply on having more conversations after committee and wanting to make legislation more flow better, less wordy, and also tying in the positions that are already people are already doing currently. This may not be time sensitive, but this is the executive cabinet and executive branch wanting to do their due diligence by making sure these are in statutes as major positions, so people are actually fulfilling the positions that they were placed to do. So again, reiterate, this is not to be disrespectful to a committee. This is coming forth after multiple conversations after the committee took place and bringing these onto the Senate floor this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mouget, yielding with 2 minutes and 3 seconds in the first round of con. Any other senators wishing to speak in con at this moment or wishing to call the motion into question? Yeah, I'll be entertaining that motion if it does arise. Senator Maiman.
Move to call the question.
All right, with that, is there a second? Senator Wang.
So seconded.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to the calling of the question on remanding this back to committee, the Judiciary Committee more specifically? Seeing none, we are now in line for the closing from Senator Gertz, who made the motion. He has 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Senator Gertz, oh, you're muted again. I do apologize. You can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I just wanted to really quickly just say that, like, I think it's important to have these conversations in committee. I do understand that, like, the executive cabinet still already exists. I do understand that they're already doing their job. I think that means that, like, this is not super sensitive time-wise. If they're already operating effectively, I think that this can wait another week. They'll still be operating effectively. And so while I understand the wish to get legislation passed and to be efficient, I think the conversation about what words need to be where in a document, that is at the heart and soul of the Judiciary Committee. I served there for over 1.5 years. I know that that is exactly what the Judiciary Committee is for. And so with that, I think it only makes sense that whenever we have so many questions about wording, to remand it back to the committee, whose entire job is to tell senators when they forgot where to put the word is, or when they forget some small thing. Love the committee, but I have made many amendments that are one-word amendments because of something. So that's exactly what judiciary is for. Give it back to judiciary. Let's get to talking about the issues that affect our students today that we have on the ballot and happening later in this meeting. And yeah, do work in committees. And I yield the rest of my time.
All right, thank you, Senator Gertz. With that being said and his closing being made, we are all senators who are all now in line to vote yes to remand back to committee, no to continue the discussion and debate on the floor, and abstention if you feel morally compromised or have some sort of conflict when it comes to making a decision on this specific motion.
make sure everybody has voted. That's 33. Oh, okay. Okay, y'all pick your votes before I start counting. Okay, so it's one extra. And then if Senator Rudolph, I think you are, I don't know if you're back. Yep, you're back. Okay. So, just give me a second. Okay. All right, I'm just going to quickly write down the no's and then we can move on. All right, vote reads, that looks a little different than what I had it as. 29 yes, 8 no, 1 abstention. Bill 82 is remanded back to judiciary.
Awesome. So with that, we are going to move ahead with the calendar. Perfect. Bill 82 has been remanded back to committee. Bill 95 on second reading is sponsored by Senator Jay Alvarez, amending student body statutes, chapter 203.6 regarding publishing of the minutes of all minutes referred to SLAW, judiciary, then rules, tabled in SLAW on 7-7, amended and passed in SLAW on 7-10, passed in judiciary 7-13, and passed in rules on 7-15. So when it comes to Bill 95, because Senator Alvarez currently serves as a parliamentarian, that piece of legislation is on the calendar. I will be appointing Senator Murcia as the caretaker, and that means that she'll now become the primary sponsor because she requested such. And so, yeah, but Senator Murcia, I don't believe, is on the call. If she is, she can present, but if she is not, we will, yeah, she's not on the call. So with that being said, Lord, I got something stuck in my throat. But Bill 95 is tabled, until the sponsor is at the Senate meeting, which will potentially be next week. So we will move forward after Bill 95 into Bill 96, which is sponsored by Senator Alvarez and Senator Leckie, amending student body statutes, chapter 400.5 regarding abstentions, which refer to judiciary then rules, passed in judiciary on 7-13 and passed in rules on 7-15. So welcome the sponsor, Senator Leckie, to the floor. You have 5 minutes, Chair Leckie, to make your opening statement in regard to Bill 96, whenever you're ready. Let's see, Leckie. Oh, I'm not sure if Senator Leckie is on the call. Yep, it seems as if Senator Leckie has left. Okay, I guess we'll mute another piece of legislation. So, yeah, we'll just move forward. So Bill 96 has been tabled as well. So Bill 95 and 96 were both tabled due to the sponsors not being here today. And with that, we already passed Bill 99, which is sponsored by Senator Dean, which is the allocation of the money of $15,000. So we are now in Bill 100, which was sponsored by Senator Martin and was amended in committee to be sponsored by Senator Gonzalez and Martin no longer as a sponsor, to provide funds of $2,500 from the Senate Projects account to the Peace Jam Southeast account to provide partial funds to the Peace Jam Southeast for their affiliate dues. With that being said, Sponsor Gonzalez, you have 5 minutes on the clock whenever you're ready for your opening statement.
Yes, thank you, President Darrell Deek. So this is a very run-of-the-mill bill. this money has been allocated to Peace Jam for 13 years. And historically, this cost has been split between the executive branch and the legislative branch, $2,500 each. And this money goes to the National Peace Jam Incorporation Company thing. It allows Peace Jam to basically function as an approved entity by the international organization on campus. So I know something that always comes up is like virtually, but this is basically just to maintain the standing of Peace Jam on campus. This doesn't really go to any in-person projects. It goes basically just to make sure there's still Peace Jam. The money that it goes to is the annual fee to host Peace Jam on campus, to access resources and support from the international organization, and to have the opportunity to bring a Nobel Peace Laureate to our campus and the Peace Jam Conference. So I really hope you guys continue this tradition. And with that, I welcome any questions. I yield.
With that, sponsor yields with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock for her closing. We are now in line for technical non-debatable questions. Senators, if any senators have any technical non-debatables, please raise your hand at this time to be recognized to ask your question. If there are no technical non-debatables, I will be entertaining a motion to move into the first round of pro and con. Is there a motion to go into pro-con debate? Senator Abston.
So moved.
All right, with that, Senator Mayman.
So seconded.
All right, are there any objections to going into the rounds of pro-con debate? Seeing none, senators, we are in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in pro of this piece of legislation? Senator Abston, you have 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, so I'd just like to commend the sponsor for her work, and also I'd like to mention that this passed law unanimously, and so I'll be voting in support of this bill tonight, and I hope you all do the same. With that, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Abston. With that, there's still 2 minutes and 49 seconds on the clock. Do any other senators wish to speak in pro? Senator Nanum.
Peace Jam is a really awesome organization. It's a great service opportunity for a lot of low-income students, as well as just students in general of the Leon County area. It's a great opportunity for students to learn about social justice and leadership. I've been involved in it for the past 2 years. It's great. I love it, and I really appreciate the sponsors putting forth this bill forward so it can continue to exist on campus. It means a lot to a lot of students at FSU, as well as a lot of students just in Leon. So thank you to the sponsors for putting this bill forward.
Senator Young, do you? Okay, I'll assume she did. 2 minutes and 21 seconds are still on the clock for the first round of pro. Any other senators wishing to speak at this time? Seeing no other senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro, are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to call the question. Senator Abston.
So moved.
Senator Gonzalez.
So seconded.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to the calling of the question on Bill 100? Senator Yanam, is that an objection, or your hand's just up from earlier? All right, I'll just assume it was up from earlier. With that being said, senators, we are in line to give the sponsor her 3 minutes and 50 seconds for her closing statement. Whenever you're ready, Senator Gonzalez, you may proceed. Are you muted? She's muted. You can go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you all for considering this today. This passed unanimously through SLAW and budget. So I hope that continues today. And with that, I wait.
Thank you. Senator waived the remainder of her time. And with that being said, senators, we are all in line to vote. Vote yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
I have 31 votes out of 37. Senator Lewis. Senator Fahey. Senator Tooks. Senator Alvarez, Aconda, All right, we have 32 votes right now. 33. All right, we should have 35 votes right now. So missing 2. Senator Wilkinson.
Senator Fahey.
Fahey is a no vote. Oh, Wilkinson is there. Oh, did Fahey vote? Nope. Okay. So it's 34. Okay, Fahey. Vote reads 33 yes, 0 no, 1 abstention. Bill 100 does pass.
All right, congratulations, sponsor. With that being said, we are going to now move into constitutional amendments. But before we do so, I just want to say something real quick. You know, I know we're on Zoom. I know that it's really hard to be engaged sometimes. You know, feel like you're doing something, you're being proactive. But I personally would appreciate it if you're able to turn on your cameras. If you could do that, if you want to make motions, I will recognize you. I'd love to see some interaction from senators who aren't interacting as much. The reason we were elected is to help students and be productive and do the work. And so if you guys are going to come to Wednesday night meetings and just sit in the background and not do anything, you're doing it injustice to your constituents. So please just give it your all. That's all I'm asking. And with that being said, we are in constitutional amendments. Amendment 2, sponsored by Senator Mercia and Chabot, amending student body constitution with regards to the number of student senators, was referred to Judiciary Law then Rules. It was amended and passed in Judiciary on 7/7 and passed in law on 7/10. Amendment 3, sponsored by Senator Mercia, amending the student body constitution to limit the number of students needed for a petition recall, referred to Judiciary Law then Rules. It was amended and passed in Judiciary, then passed in law. And then Amendment 5, sponsored by Senator Jay Alvarez, to make the student body president and vice president run separately, is now going to be assigned to Senator Mercia as a caretaker. So for constitutional amendment 5, it will be assigned to 3 committees. It will start in the Judiciary Committee, make its way to the Student Life and Academic Affairs Committee, and then finally make its way to the Rules and Calendar Committee. And if it makes it through all 3 committees, it will be heard on the floor to then be considered as a something that'll be on the election ballot. And for Amendment 6, the sponsor by Senator Alvarez as well, will be taken up by Senator Mercia for Constitutional Amendment 6. And that is editing the student body constitution with regards to the student body treasurer. I believe it's updating kind of their position and making it more accurate. I'm not 100% sure, but that one will also go through Judiciary, then SLAW, and then the Rules and Calendar Committee. With that being said, we have a new constitutional amendment added to the calendar, sponsored by Senator Sohos, which is to increase the number of Supreme Court justices from 5 to 7. And so with that being said, Constitutional Amendment 7 will go the same process, the Judiciary Committee first, the Student Life and Academic Affairs Committee second, and the Rules and Calendar Committee third. And kind of the reason I want to do that is Judiciary Committee is very good with the wording, very good with the language, so they'll have an opportunity to look over it, make sure it's written right. And then with Student Life and Academic Affairs, they are our voice to the students. They represent students out of all the committees the most. They're Student Life and Academic Affairs, and so they'll take it upon themselves to look at these pieces of legislation and make sure that they're advocating and pushing students forward. And then for Rules and Calendar is literally the chairs, the chairs need to get an opportunity to look over something this serious. So with that being said, we will move on to resolutions. Resolution 45, sponsored by Senator Adam Meek, regarding the university partnership with HonorLock, was withdrawn by the sponsor on 9/9. Resolution 48, sponsored by Senator Yanam and Bogle, commending the 5 years of education and service that Green Dot has provided FSU and encouraging members of the student body to go through the Green Dot training. It was referred to SLAW then Rules, tabled in SLAW on 7/7, amended and passed in SLAW 7/10, tabled in Rules on 7/15, and tabled on the Senate floor on 9/9 because the sponsors were not here, but the sponsor is here today. And Senator Yanam, whenever you're ready, you have 5 minutes to present your opening statement for Resolution 48. Oh, do I gotta unmute you? Lord, I'm sorry. You can go ahead whenever you're ready. Senator Yonam, are you on the call?
I am, sorry. Okay, can I be reminded, can you say the resolution number again?
48. It's commending the 5 years of education and service that the Green Dot has provided.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'm ready.
You can go ahead.
So this was a resolution that I put forth, I think back in May, at the anniversary of Green Dot's creation here on campus. And it essentially goes over some statistics about all the work that Green Dot has done on campus. I believe the number is 26,000 students and faculty that have been involved in Green Dot training. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I didn't realize this resolution was being heard tonight. But it essentially just says, hey, Green Dot's done a great job. We really commend the work that they've done, and is sending it to the coordinators of Green Dot, as well as encouraging more people to engage in Green Dot training. For those of you who don't know, Green Dot training is bystander intervention training, which is essentially teaching you how to be a good bystander in terms of power-based personal violence in your life, as well as other situations in your life. So it's a great training. I've gone twice. I encourage you to go as well. I've talked about it several times in Senate. So that being said, yeah, I yield for my closing.
Sponsor of Resolution 48 yields with 4 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock for her closing statement. With that, are there any technical non-debatable questions on the resolution for the sponsor? Seeing no technical non-debatable questions, is there a motion to move into rounds of pro and con? Senator Rudolph.
So moved.
Senator Akonda. Was that a second, Senator Akonda?
Sorry, my internet. So seconded.
No worries. But with that being said, are there any objections to going into pro-con on Resolution 48? Seeing none, we're in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in pro of Resolution 48? Seeing none, we're in the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock as well. Any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con on Senator for Resolution 48? Senator Gonzalez, do you wish to make a motion?
I do. I move to pass by unanimous consent.
All right, with that being said, is there a second? Senator Wang.
So seconded.
All right, are there any objections to the calling of unanimous consent for Resolution 48? Seeing none, congratulations, sponsor has been adopted by unanimous consent. Woo! Look at that. Virtual claps, guys. Yeah, okay, well, with that, I would appreciate a motion to unlock the calendar. Bill 86 managed to fall off the table. You know, it's not on our calendar. I guess I deleted it by accident or something like that, but it was tabled last week. And so just so we can go back and actually discuss it. Senator Rudolph.
I move to unlock the calendar.
Senator Gonzalez.
So seconded.
All right, are there any objections? With that being said, the calendar's unlocked. We're back on bills for second reading. Bill 86, sponsored by Senator Dotson, Stinson, and Adams, amending Student Body Statutes, Chapter 100.5 to add Deputy Treasurer and members of the Executive Office to the list of major positions, referred to Judiciary, then IA on 7.1, amended and passed in Judiciary on 7.7, amended and passed in IA 7.14, and tabled on the floor 9.16. Senator Chabot, did you have a point?
Yes, I move to table this until Bill 82 comes back onto second reading, considering this deals with offices being amended in Bill 82.
All right, is there a second to tabling Bill 86? Senator Waters.
So seconded.
All right, is there any objection to the tabling of Bill 86? Senator Stinson.
I object.
All right, so with that being said, this is non-debatable. It is a simple majority. With that being said, you guys are all in line to vote yes for tabling, no for not tabling, and go faster if you feel as if, you know, you got a conflict and you can't make a yes or no choice.
No to not table.
Well, it's definitely getting tabled.
Gonna be honest, I don't know how many people are in here. I think we're at 36. People have been going in and out without telling me.
And please, senators, if you guys are popping in and out, please make sure you're messaging the pro tempore, because he needs to ensure that the attendance is kept, and he needs to make sure that when we're voting correctly, and the senators who aren't voting are being keeping track of.
Okay, 30. All right, let me just make sure everybody's voted.
Vijay, if you have a point, I will have to call on you for that point after the vote is done, because we are in line to vote, and with that, there's no talking during the voting.
Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there are 35 people in here. All right, give me a second to write down the votes. Okay, I know who left. Senator Promozic is back. Senator Promozic, we're voting on tabling Bill 86. If you feel free, you can abstain, but totally up to you. All right. Vote reads 23 yes, 7 no, 6 abstentions. Bill 86 is tabled on the floor.
All right. So with that, we'll get to move forward and go back to the regular order of the calendar. So we were on resolution 48 that passed by unanimous consent. Senator Mouget, you had a point, I do remember. Oh, I'm sorry that I didn't see it before the vote was called. But is your point still relevant?
No.
Okay, I apologize. So with that, we'll still be moving forward to resolution 58, sponsored by Senator Jay Alvarez, amending student body rules of procedure 13.8 regarding senator absences, referred to rules on 7-1. This resolution 58 will be, taken by Senator Murcia. She will now become the caretaker, which is the primary sponsor, because Senator Alvarez no longer serves as a senator. Resolution 60, sponsored by Senator Waters, Garcia, Alvarez, Gabadaj, Gonzalez, Medlineras, Palacio, and Tooks, advocating for the renaming of Doak Campbell Stadium to Charlie Ward Field, was referred to SLAW then rules. It was tabled in SLAW on 7-7 and passed in SLAW on 7-13. Resolution 61, sponsored by Senators Garcia, Waters, Alvarez, Gabadaj, Gonzalez, Medliner, Palacio, advocating for the renaming of the Swanee Room to the Ava Killing Swanee Room, was referred to SLAW then rules on 7-1, tabled in SLAW on 7-7, amended and passed in SLAW on 7-13. Resolution 65, sponsored by Senator Alvarez. Sponsored by Senator Alvarez, Lecky, Murcia, Chabot, Yanam, Hanks, and Wang, encouraging the university administration to expand the means in which the student body is educated regarding indigenous lands and reaching out to other nations that use the similar name is referred to SLAW then rules. That was done on 9-2. Resolution 69, sponsored by Wang, Vogel, Yanam, and Hinks, amending Student Senate Rules of Procedure 512 regarding ad hoc committees, was referred to rules on 9-2. Resolution 70, sponsored by Senators Rudd and Stinson, Senators Adams, Chabot, Wang, and Waters, urging for the renaming of the BK Robert Hall and SG Advocacy to do so, was referred to RAJ ad hoc and then SLAW and then rules, passed in RAJ on 9/11, passed in SLAW on 9/14. It is still in the Rules and Calendar Committee. Resolution 74, sponsored by Martin, Adams, Chabot, Dean, Gabadaj, and Murray, encouraging and acknowledging student leaders in the Student Senate, Executive Branch, and all other student government entities to focus on their education and accountability to create an inclusive and productive environment at FSU, was referred to SLAW on 9-2 and passed in SLAW on 9-8. So Resolution 74 is now on the floor. Welcome sponsors Martin, Adams, Chabot, Dean, Gabadaj, Gonzalez, and Murray. Gabadaj and Murray are no longer senators, but the rest of you are. So if you guys would like to, raise your hand, make your opening statement. If it's only one senator, that's okay too. But you have 5 minutes on the clock whenever you're ready.
Okay, this is really exciting. It's my first resolution. Anyway, okay, hello, senators. So basically, this resolution is talking about everything that happened during the summer, kind of what we've been going through with cancel culture, not talking in a way that promotes growth, talking about all of the ways that, we can talk about civil discourse and how it can be rooted in disagreement. But I kind of wrote this just to take a step back, kind of calling people in instead of calling people out. I was able to get into contact with the director of the Pride Student Union, the Veteran Student Union, and the Hispanic Latinx Student Union, just to kind of have a discussion about how we as senators can better our community, better serve our constituents as well, because all of these arguments that are happening, all of the cancel culture that's happening, it's not healthy for our student government. Acknowledging that we're student leaders and that we have constituents that we want to be able to make proud and be able to make all of these bills and resolutions that really promote the inclusive environment of Florida State University. So basically this resolution is just talking about that, and it wasn't taken lightly. I talked to a lot of people, me and Chair Sam, just to talk about how we could be able to talk about cancel culture and if it was a correct way of explaining it, and then the atmosphere of it, and focusing on, we can be in different political parties, have different ideologies, but at the end of the day, we all have one common goal of making Florida State University better. So with that, I really hope that you all can read it, not take it lightly, and we can be able to have a productive fall semester. So with that, I yield and welcome any questions.
Sponsor yields with 2 minutes and 59 seconds on the clock for her closing on Resolution 74. With that being said, are there any technical, non-debatable questions, senators, on the language, on whatever it may be for the sponsor? Seeing none, I'll be entertaining a motion to call, not to call anything, but to move into rounds of pro and con. Senator Conda. Senator Conda, is it so moved? Senator Rudolph.
So moved.
Senator Abston.
Second.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections going into pro-con debate on Resolution 74? Seeing none, we are in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in pro of Resolution 74? Seeing none, we're in the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock as well. Are there any senators wishing to speak in con of this resolution? Senator Gertz, do you wish to speak in con?
Yes, Mr. President.
All right, there's 3 minutes on the clock whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so first I just want to say I'm not saying this to impugn either any of the sponsors or anything like that, nor am I going to impugn any of the trainings that they recommended. They're all great trainings, and it is a great important step for us to get trained. But I will just say that it is kind of frustrating, for me at least, being a member of one of the communities that was directly harmed over this summer, and who was directly harmed by things that are sort of taken flippantly and lightly, like mention of political ideology as if it doesn't matter. Political ideology for decades, if not centuries, decided that I was not worthy of rights, or I was not able to love the people that I love. Political ideology matters. And personally, while I understand that cancel culture has been harsh and it has hurt a lot of members of the Senate and it has hurt a lot of us, I believe that every time someone is canceled or every time people speak out and get angry and frustrated about things, there's a reason behind that. And so while I do appreciate the idea of pushing for positive change and to pushing away from cancel culture, and I support the core message of this resolution, I must say that I would rather talk and work to resolve the issues that force people to cancel us, that force people to call us out. I'd rather talk about why we've been canceled, or why members of the Senate, why members of SGA have been canceled. Why was summer so terrible? That's what I would like to talk about. And so while I appreciate this resolution and I appreciate what it is and what it's done, I would like to see more work done by the entirety of the student Senate to resolve the underlying cultural issues. You know, it's been 100 and I believe 105, 103 days since the queer community on this campus sort of began the summer of turmoil and really pushed very hard for us to do something, and then nothing. There's been one resolution apologizing to them from the Student Senate, and nothing. Nothing from the executive branch, nothing from the legislative branch, nothing from anything. So I just ask that when this passes, I won't be voting for it, but when it passes, I know it will. I know that it will because it's a good resolution, that you don't take this as the end, and remember that the work starts in ending the reasons why we get canceled and not in saying you shouldn't cancel us. But definitely go to those trainings and definitely think about how we hurt.
The time has expired in the first round of con. With that being said, I apologize for muting you, but you know, the 3 minutes are up. So with that, we are now in the second round of pro. Do any senators wish to speak in the second round of pro on Resolution 74? All right, Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you. I just want to say something real quick. I was talking to someone that I highly respect in FSU administration. He's pretty high up there. And we were talking about conversations and how change happens and how it's needed for us to respect each other and touch base before we move forward. So I just kind of want everyone to acknowledge that we are not saying that people shouldn't be held accountable. We are not saying that we should ignore people's actions and you know what follows after they make a vote when it comes to the Senate or anything else. But we are saying that there has to be a foundation, and we are trying to bring that foundation back to the Senate so we can move forward and we can move towards that change that people are calling for. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Chair Gonzalez. Yield with 1 minute and 57 seconds on the clock for the first round of pro. Any other senators wishing to speak in pro of Resolution 74? Senator Waters.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reading over this resolution, I think that this is a very powerful resolution. You know, I think it's a step in the right direction. But I would encourage my fellow senators, my colleagues, to look introspectively. Look, what is wrong with our student government? What is wrong with our Senate? Why can't we get along? Why do we continuously bicker at one another? I encourage us all to look at that. And I implore you to look at all the things that must be done for this student body. There are so many different things that we could do, so many different people that we could help, but we're continuously arguing with one another. I just find it antithetical to why you took office in the first place. So look introspectively, and with that, I yield.
Thank you, Senator Waters. With 1 minute and 3 seconds on the clock for the second round of pro, do any other senators wish to make a pro statement? Senator Mouget.
Thank you. I'd kind of like to piggyback off of Senator Waters there, and Senator Gonzalez. Change comes out of these conversations and addressing that, arguments have happened. And I don't think that this resolution in any way does not acknowledge that the events this summer have happened, but it's a platform, and it creates a vehicle to have these conversations and to create the change and the healthy environment that the Senate is seeking. To be a productive Senate, we're all students, we're all one student body representing one student body, and it's important that we address that and we come together on this resolution and initiate the start to a better tomorrow and a more peaceful Senate environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Yielding with 19 seconds on the clock for this round of pro. Any other senators wishing to utilize that time in pro? Senator Rudd, just a reminder before you start, 19 seconds on the clock. Oh, Senator Rudd, did you change your mind? Okay, no worries. We will push ahead, and we are in the second round of con.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Were you trying to utilize that 19 second?
For some reason, my mic went out. I just want to remind everyone, a quote I always think of is, instead of calling out, we should call each other in, and I live by that, and that's why I will be voting yes for this resolution.
All right, thank you. With 7 seconds left on the clock, any other senators wishing to speak in pro? Seeing none, we are in the second round of con. Any senators wishing to speak in the second round of con? Senator Gertz, did you want to speak in con?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to take long. I just wanted to finish up my thoughts from the previous round. I just wanted to say that, if you could scroll back up to the first line, I would appreciate that. I just want to say that, the statement, have created polarized communities across many areas of campus, specifically for the queer community. Things that happened in summer did not create that issue. The issue of homophobia and transphobia and queerphobia exists every single day on our campus and across this country. And even though we've had great victories in the judicial branch, and even though the Supreme Court has affirmed our rights, there are still millions of people and states across this country that don't. There are still queer students and queer people being sent to camps to eliminate their sexuality. These aren't recent events polarizing communities. It's just that marginalized communities have started speaking up, and now we're feeling bad about ourselves and want to give ourselves a pat on the back. And so for that reason, I'll be voting no.
Sponsor yielded 2 minutes to the second round of pro. With that being said, are there any other senators wishing to make a statement in con? Any other senators wishing to make a statement in con? If not, I will be entertaining a motion to call the question. Senator Gonzalez. All right, well, Senator Gonzalez is gone. Senator Selva.
I would like to make a motion to omit created and replace it with furthered or any other adverb if anyone else has any other ideas.
So are you making a motion, or are you suggesting a motion be made?
Making a motion.
All right, and so your motion is to strike out in the first whereas
Yes.
the word created, and what would you like to replace that word with?
Furthered.
Have further polarized.
Any other suggestions, but I'm just going to place further in
All right.
to start conversation.
Is there a second to the motion to omit created and replace it with the word further? Senator Rudd.
So seconded.
All right, are there any objections to the usage of the word further instead of the word create? Senator Mayman.
Oh, sorry. That I second, but oh, my hand was up.
No worries. We already got seconded. So with that, seeing that there are no objections, unless Senator Gertz, are you objecting? I don't think Senator Gertz was objecting. So with that being said, does the sponsor, Martin, Sam, Chabot, Dean, Gabadaj, Gonzalez, Murray, do you guys find that amendment friendly?
Oh, okay. Yes, I find it friendly.
All right, and are there any objections to this amendment? Seeing none, the amendment has been adopted, and the document will now read, have further polarized communities rather than have created. So with that being said, we are still in the second round of con with 1 minute and 57 seconds on the clock. Do any senators wish to make a statement in con or call the question? Senator Medley-Nera.
Yeah, I want to make a statement in con. I think that with regard to cancel culture, I don't like that word, but accountability rather. I feel like if we have to ask ourselves, no, I just feel like we should ask ourselves why we're being canceled. I feel like leaders should be asking themselves why they're being canceled. And with that, I'll be voting no.
Senator yields with 1 minute and 27 seconds on the clock for con. Senator Gonzalez, do you wish to make a con statement?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can go ahead with 1 minute and 27 seconds on the clock.
So I understand the sentiment of this resolution. I'm just not really sure what change it enacts that's tangible. I feel like this conflict or this issue should be settled in other places besides, the Senate floor, like drafting a resolution. But that's my piece. I'm abstaining from voting.
All right, with that being said, Senator yields with 1 minute on the clock for con. Any other senators wishing to speak in con of Resolution 74? Yanam.
Yeah, I would just like to echo the sentiments of Senator Gertz as a member of the queer community and as a person who was greatly affected by the incidents that occurred this summer. It seems very dismissive of the queer community and what they experienced in regards to what happened to say that, to say this in what feels like a resolution that has no binding action and has no result that directly impacts them, as well as many of the senators on this were a part of that initial act that hurt the queer community and were a part of that initial movement to hurt them. And it feels very dismissive. I do agree that the trainings that are mentioned in this resolution are phenomenal. I've gone to a lot of them. Everyone should go. But I don't think that this is the best outlet for this. And with that, I will also be voting no.
All right, with that being said, the time in the second round of con has expired. So right on the dot, Senator Yanam. I appreciate it. With that, I will be entertaining a motion to call the question. If there is a motion, yeah, but if there's someone who would still wish to speak in pro or con, we can further continue debate if necessary. But Senator England.
Move to call the question.
All right, Senator Medley-Nera. Oh, Senator Gonzalez.
So seconded.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to the calling of the question on Resolution 74? All right, seeing no objection on the calling of the question. Sponsor, you are in line to give your closing with 2 minutes and 58 seconds on the clock whenever you're ready. Senator Martin.
Okay, hello everybody. So I kind of just want to say I'm sorry for people who thought that I was saying there was going to be that what happened during the summer was creating polarized communities. It was more so that we weren't having that empathetic dialogue, trying to reach out to people and understand them, not in a way of saying trying to understand if people are being homophobic, because, that's not okay, but just trying to reach out to senators, trying to have that dialogue. That's why I wanted to create this resolution, just so that we can actually have conversations, because what has happened in the summer was more so just reaction instead of being able to create something from it. And I know a lot of people are saying that, you know, there's nothing that's happening with this resolution, but it's kind of just the start of wanting to create more of that, you know, being able to reach out to senators and feel comfortable about, you know, like talking one-on-one before going to the Senate floor. As people were saying, you know, like calling in instead of calling out. That's something that's so important that I feel like we haven't really done. We've just called out so many people, and, you know, I recognize like that cancel culture is like very harsh, but it's kind of something that we have been doing. And I want us to recognize that we are students first, and we do make mistakes, but if we are, you know, trying to make that change and trying to acknowledge our mistakes, then why are we still being canceled? Why are we, you know, still having these arguments? So I hear everyone's, you know, what everyone is saying. I just want to be able to create a healthy environment within the Student Senate. And I apologize for anybody that I hurt. You know, I'm a part of the queer community as well. Like, I do not want to disrespect anybody with saying those things. You know, I was very much hurt for the things that happened in the summer as well. But this is just kind of a conversation that I wanted to start and just further, you know, better Senate and just being able to create those really great changes that we can create and create impact as well. So with that, I yield.
Thank you, Chair Martin. I appreciate it. With that being said, Senators, you are all now in line to vote for Resolution 79, or not 79, sorry, 74. Yes for yes, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
Voting. Oh, sorry, I'm tired.
And while we're voting, you know, I did want to take this opportunity to remind the senators that we will be adjourning at 11 p.m. That is my max time. Personally, I think it's appropriate for us to finish at around 11 p.m. every night. But you know, everyone's saying that's my personal belief. If you guys feel like we would have to push past 11, you know, there's nothing restricting us from doing that. But personally, I think it would be in the best interest of the entire Senate if we did adjourn at 11. But with that, I think Harmon has the vote.
28. I believe everybody has voted. Let me make sure. Yes, we do. Wow. Yay. All right, let me just write it down. Okay. Okay, never mind. There's too many. I'm just gonna take a picture. All right, vote reads 21 yes, 8 no, 8 abstention. I believe that passes. Let me just make sure.
I was going to say we need to check the abstention threshold. We're good.
Okay.
So with that, Resolution 74 passed. Congratulations, sponsors. I think that, you know, that is definitely a necessary step to help push the Student Senate forward and make us more accountable and you know, get us to what we're supposed to be doing, which is helping the student body. Senator Gonzalez.
I move to unlock the calendar and go to Resolution 80.
Thank you, Senator Gonzalez. Is there a second to that motion? Senator Wang.
So seconded.
All right. Well, said, is there any objections to unlocking the calendar and going to Resolution 80? Senator Yonam, do you object? Oh, she's gone. No?
I
Okay.
think only on the fact that I feel Resolution 77 is fairly important as well, and it had already been tabled last meeting. So I'd like if we were able to get to that tonight too.
All right, so if we wanted to unlock the calendar and start with Resolution 77 and then go to Resolution 80, I definitely think that that's appropriate. Thank you, Senator Selva, for bringing that to our attention. But did you object, by the way, Senator Selva, to the unlocking of the calendar, or were you just trying to?
Yes, I was objecting, but I'm open to making a motion as well, if that's like possible, and okay with Senator Gonzalez as well.
All right, so did you want to withdraw your objection, Senator Selva, and then we just move to go into Resolution 77 and then 80?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I appreciate it. So with that being withdrawn, the motion to unlock the calendar by Senator Gonzalez and seconded by Senator Wang has been accepted. The dog is adorable, by the way, Chair Martin. With that being said, we're going to start with Resolution 77. But before Pro Temp Harmon begins, is there a motion to waive the entirety of Rule 10 in our rules of procedure? Because within Rule 10, it kind of discusses that the time for this resolution would be during sine die, and we're not doing that tonight. So if there's a motion to waive the rules, specifically Rule 10 in its entirety, to be able to move forward and hear Resolution 77. Senator Gonzalez.
I move to waive Rule 10 in its entirety.
Senator Mayman.
Second.
All right, so with that being said, are there any objections to the waiving of the rules? Oh, sorry, could we remove the entirety and just do 1016? I do apologize for not specifying. So Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, I move to waive Rule 10.
16.
0.6?
16. 1016. All right, thank you. Is there a second, Senator Mayman?
Second.
All right, thank you for bearing with me, guys. With that being said, we are now, the calendar is unlocked. We're on Resolution 77. And we are now in line to hear Resolution 77, sponsored by our Pro Tempore Harmon. Whenever you're ready, you have 5 minutes on the clock to give your opening statement.
All right, thank you. I'll try to make this quick, although I'd like to take time to talk about this. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Anyways, so this resolution we traditionally do each year at the end of the spring semester. I know it's a sine die, but we haven't done that in a few years now. And I felt that we missed out on doing it because of COVID. So I felt that we should, catch up and remember the students that we have lost over the 2019-2020 school year, the fall and spring semester. So this is generally just a resolution, just remembering them. And if I could, can we have a motion to read it in its entirety for the president?
Senator England.
I move for the sponsor to read the bill in its entirety, the resolution in its entirety.
All right, with that, is there a second, Senator Chabot?
So seconded.
All right, with that being said, I'll read it in its entirety. But prior to doing so, I know that Parliamentarian Alvarez did have just a clarification in regards to Rule 10.16 that is appropriate for the entire Senate to be aware of.
Yes, Rule 1016D, Rule 1016 dealing with resolutions recognizing students who have passed away. 1016D reads, no other resolutions recognizing students that have passed shall be considered unless this rule is waived by a 2/3 vote of the Senate. So while there was the motion to waive the rule, it still would necessitate a 2/3 vote, even if there were no objections to the motion.
Right, and so it's a non-debatable motion. And with that, you guys just go into a direct vote of yes to waive the rules and no not to, and go faster if you abstain. So I would appreciate it if we could do this, swiftly. And then we will go back to the resolution and I will read it in its entirety. as long as we reach that 2/3 threshold for the waiving of the rule.
Senator Conda, Senator Soto, Senator Lewis, Senator Kalink, Pedroso, Adamik. Just trying to get this one quickly. Senator Denton, Senator Wilkinson, Senator Shaler. All right, awesome. Senator Tooks. Senator Lewis. All right. Tooks and Lewis did not vote for this one, but it does pass. All right, vote reads 34 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. The rules are waived.
All right. So with that, I do apologize for confusion. I apologize for making us go a step back. But now that all of our rules are cleared and we're able to push forward, the opening for Pro Temp Harmon is still good. The motion that we accepted from Senator England is also fine as well. And with that being said, I will read the bill in its entirety. So whereas every member of our campus community, including students, advocates, faculty, staff, and alumni are important to Florida State University and have a unique piece among the campus populace, and whereas every year Florida State University faces the potential tragedy of losing members of our community, and whereas the Florida State University Student Senate serves the student body as a whole, and whereas the students and their legacies cannot be replaced and deserve the utmost reverence of the student body and their contributions to the campus community. And whereas it is with immense sorrow that the following students at Florida State University have passed on during the 2019-2020 school year, including Krista Bryan, Andrew Ellis, Earl Kelly, Reina Velez, Austin Wolf, Natalia Nichin, Daniela Hernandez, Christopher Joel Acosta, Sasha Monique Molina, Taluani, Idu, Samuel McLean Stone, and whereas these students at the time of their passing were enrolled in graduate or undergraduate courses at Florida State University, and whereas it is imperative to take the time to reflect on the loss of these students and their impact on our community. Therefore, be it resolved by the 72nd Student Senate at Florida State University that the Florida State University Student Senate expresses its deepest condolences and sympathy to the family, friends, and loved ones of the members of the Florida State University student body that we have lost during the 2019-2020 school year. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution is sent to Dr. Amy Heck, Vice President of Student Affairs, Angela Chung, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. I believe that is the end of this resolution. So with that being said, we are in technical non-debatable questions. Are there any senators wishing to make a technical non-debatable question on this piece of legislation? Seeing none, is there a motion to go into pro-con debate on Resolution 77? Senator Apston.
So moved.
Senator Selva.
So seconded.
All right. Are there any objections to going into the rounds of pro-con debate on Resolution 77? Seeing none, we are in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro on this resolution? Senator Selva.
Seeing it bars no other senators from speaking, I would like to exhaust 1 minute in pro to take a moment of silence for the students that we lost during the school year.
Now that 1 minute has been exhausted, do you yield your time in pro?
Yes, thank you.
All right. With that, there's still 2 minutes in the round of pro. Senator Wang.
Yeah, I move to amend this piece of legislation to add the name Lance Mercy in the 5th whereas clause.
I think my internet connection is a bit choppy. I did not hear a word you said. I don't know if I sound choppy, but if you could please repeat that, Senator Wang.
Yeah, sorry. I move to amend this piece of legislation to add the name Lance Mercy in the 5th whereas clause.
Is that a student who passed away?
Yes.
All right. So with that motion being made, is there a second to Senator Wang's motion? Senator Little.
I second.
All right. With that being said, are there any objections to the adding of the student's name who had passed? Seeing no objections, does the sponsor, Harmon, do you find it friendly?
Of course, yes.
With that, the student's name, Lance, will be added to the 5th whereas. With that being said, there's still 2 minutes on the clock for the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? If there are none, we are in the first round of con. And if no senators would like to speak in the first round of con, I will be entertaining a motion to accept by acclamation. With that, Senator England.
Wholeheartedly move to pass by acclamation.
All right, with that being said, Senator Randall.
I second this motion.
All right, are there any objections to the passage of Resolution 77 by acclamation? Seeing no objections, Resolution 77 has been adopted by acclamation in the Student Senate. Thank you, guys. It's important for us to reflect on. So I appreciate you, Pro Temp Harmon.
I believe.
And with that, we are now to Resolution 8, point.
I had an objection.
To
Yeah, I wanted to object to the motion of passing by acclamation on the grounds that I'm now concerned, given that we missed a name originally, if we were able to completely get all of the students who had tragically lost their lives in the past year. So,
Pro Temp Harmon, did you want to respond to that concern in regards to if we acquired all the names?
So I forgot to mention in my opening that if we did miss any names, I was open to amendments to add them because I got this list of names from the administration directly, which is what we've done every year. I tried to get faculty as well and staff, but they didn't do it this year. Now I would totally be open to adding that name as well. And, you know, I did not mean it maliciously to leave someone out. So yeah.
Yeah, so Senator Yanam, you're still objecting to the motion of acclamation, correct?
I'll, like, for point of clarification, this is not meant to be like, oh, Pro Tempore Harmon did this maliciously. I'm just worried that this resolution does mean a lot to the students, and I worry that excluding a name of a student who passed away that we happened to, like, mistakenly would not be very well would not be a great thing. I personally would, like, if it was my friend, I personally would not be very okay or happy with the Senate at that moment in time. So my concern is that we might have missed names. Given especially with the distance learning and everything and our lack of the difficulties communication, and that's just my concern. So right. I'll withdraw my objection for the expediency of the Senate, but that's my concern and why I wanted to object.
Well, if you want to object, that's okay, and then the motion for acclamation will fail. But Pro Temp Harmon, do you have a
If
point?
I could also comment, I would like to, I will be working with the advisors and Dr. Bowden about making sure we recognize those students. I don't want to leave them out. I'm sure we can find a way to recognize them as well. They are FSU nulls. We don't want to forget them. So I'd love to work with you on making sure they are recognized as well.
Yeah, with that assurance from Pro Tempore Harmon, I will happily withdraw my objection, sorry.
All right, so then it's passed by acclamation still. And we can move into Resolution 80. With that being said, Resolution 80 is sponsored by Yana, Mayman, Gonzalez, Wang, and Gertz, condemning the brutality showcased by the law enforcement officers of the Leon County area and affirms the idea that Black Lives Matter. It was referred to the Racial Inclusivity and Justice Ad Hoc and then the Rules and Calendar Committee on 9/9, and it passed through the IRJ Committee on 9/11, and it passed through Rules today on 9/16. So with that being said, the sponsors for Resolution 80, you have 5 minutes on the clock whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hello, Senate. I know it's been a long night, so we'll try and get this done. I don't want to rush through it because it is important, but I do understand that people do want to go to sleep. So this resolution is acknowledging the fact that on September 5th, which was, I believe, 2 weekends ago, there was a peaceful protest that was organized in response to the exoneration by the TPD or by grand jury of Tallahassee Police Department officers that were involved in the fatal shootings of Michael Johnson, Tony McDade, and Wilbin Woodard. And this resolution is a basic acknowledgement of the fact that this protest, which comprised community leaders from Dream Defenders, Tallahassee Community Action Committee, and students from FSU as well as TCC, were met at that protest with, for lack of a better word, brute force by various police departments in the Leon County area, including our own FSU PD. They pulled over Trish Brown, a local activist who was leading a, caravan of other protesters in cars along the street, and officers pulled her over, claiming that she was slowing down traffic. Instead of giving her a ticket, they eventually forcefully removed her from the car. And then, I guess, hypocritically, after pulling her over for slowing down traffic, they themselves held up traffic for an extended period while they were facing down with the protesters. So this whole resolution is the bare minimum of Student Senate to just acknowledge what happened and to also kind of put out some concrete steps that FSU could take, specifically through the Division of Student Affairs. So I don't know if KP wants to say anything else.
Yeah, so this resolution, as Jason said, essentially affirms what happened at the protest and the experiences that the protesters had. On top of that, it asks that the Division of Student Affairs work with the Tallahassee Community Action Committee, Dream Defenders, Florida People's Advocacy Center, and other service providers to sort of find ways to approve FSU PD to and their interactions with students of color. It's sort of unreasonable for students to expect our students of color at FSU to feel safe under FSU PD's watch when knowing that they engaged in this brutality and this show of force. On top of that, we asked that the Division of Student Affairs regularly communicate with the Racial Injustice and Inclusivity Ad Hoc and to sort of start the dialogue of how we move forward from what was frankly a very despicable show of aggression here in Tallahassee. But unless Jason has something else to add, I yield.
All right, sponsors yield with 1 minute and 54 seconds to their closing. And with that being said, we are now in technical non-debatable questions. So senators, if you have any technical non-debatable questions for the sponsors of Resolution 80, this is the time to ask. And if there aren't any, I will be entertaining a motion to go into pro-con debate. Senator Gonzalez.
So moved.
Senator Rudolph.
So seconded.
All right, with that, are there any objections? Seeing none, we're in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak and have their voice heard tonight on Resolution 50 or Resolution 80. And again, There's 3 minutes on the clock in the first round of pro. So anybody wishing to speak, just please raise your hand. Senator Gertz.
Hi, yes, I would just like to say that this was very hard for me to watch. And this entire episode has really hit closer to home because like this is the city I call home. And I just want to remind everyone that through this whole conversation that we've been having about police brutality, which has existed since the beginning of this country and surely before that as well, to always remember that resolutions like this, actions like this, are here to ensure that in the future, more airtime, more conversations, and more thought can be put into how to support Black joy and Black parents and Black teachers and all the different people of color who make this nation so great and so wonderful and who contributed to it. But for now, it is incumbent on us all to take responsibility for the fact that we share in a system of privilege and a system of racism that has for centuries repressed and oppressed huge numbers of people. And I see this as the bare minimum of the Senate to do. And moving forward, I do hope that this is the first resolution of many, so that one day we can all sit back and rest and focus more on the Black joy and the Black life instead of those who choose to take it and those who choose to victimize it. And with that, I urge the Senate to vote in favor of this resolution.
Thank you for yielding with 1 minute and 11 seconds in the first round of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to utilize the time left? Senator Soto.
Hi, everyone. I really think that this resolution should be passed because unfortunately a lot, like for example, FSU PD was part of the reason why this happened. Well, yeah, part of the reason why this happened. And not only that, but also like professors and like staff aren't really, in my personal opinion, I don't think they're really doing enough for those students that either have been affected or their friends have been affected in terms of like the arrests. So I really think this resolution should be passed not only to educate us, but educate the staff members to make sure that they can support the students that were and or the staff that were affected during these protests. So yeah, that's all I had to say.
Thank you for yielding with 27 seconds in the first round of pro. Any other senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro on this resolution, which is 80? Seeing none, we are in the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? No senators would like to speak in the first round of con. I will be entertaining a motion to call the question. Senator Wang.
I move to call the question.
Senator Robert Gonzalez.
So moved, or so seconded. Sorry.
Are there any objections to the calling of the question on Resolution 80? Seeing none, the sponsors are in line to give a closing statement with 1 minute and 54 seconds on the clock. Sponsor, whenever you're you have
I thank you everyone for listening. It's been a long night, I know, but things like this resolution, they're important. But as Senator Gertz said, they are indeed the bare minimum for events like these that happen to students far too often. But I do appreciate the support. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say, KP.
Yeah, thanks everyone for your time, and we appreciate you listening and sharing and your support, hopefully your support on this resolution as well. And I encourage you guys to continue to support the Black Lives Matter movement here in Tallahassee. And with that, I yield.
Sponsors waive the minute that was left in their closing statement. With that being said, senators, you are all in line to vote yes for yes on resolution 80, no for no, and go faster for abstention.
To my knowledge, we need probably one more vote, two more, I think.
Popped off the call.
Who did?
Winston Cole. He told
Okay.
me he's, yeah, I don't see him on the call.
Okay, so Stinson is out. Oops, somebody added. Okay, I'm just missing one abstention that I didn't find.
Has Adrian been texting you, Senator Ridigel, his votes?
He has, but not right now. Oh, he just did actually. I just saw it. Okay, so yes. All right, vote reads 31 yes, 0 no, 6 abstentions. This resolution does pass.
All right. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 6. So with that, guys, it is 11:05. We are returning to the order of the calendar. Yeah, so let's go back to the calendar. We did resolution 70. We did 74. Okay. So resolution 74, we just did that one, and we did 78. Okay, so resolution 75, sponsored by Chabot and Leckie. The Senate Judiciary Committee voted to establish a Senate Investigative Board pursuant to statute 406, referred to Rules and Calendar on 9-2. Did that one fail in Rules and Calendar, Harmon?
I'm sorry, which one is it?
Resolution 75. I felt like that one had failed in Rules and Calendar, but I'm not sure why it doesn't say so.
Oh, I have it in my notes.
I have it written down as
So 75 did fail.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to do something that's not appropriate. Moving forward, resolution 76, sponsored by Leckie and Gonzalez, urges the university to expand the diversity credit requirement, reverted to SLAW and passed in SLAW. Resolution 76, sponsor Gonzalez. You have 5 minutes for your opening. Oh, I gotta mute. Oops.
Oh, my bad. I cleared the votes and I cleared your hand. Oops. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm trying to make this really quick. We brought this resolution to attempt to address the concerns of the student body as it relates to the existing diversity requirement, X and Y, and how broad they are, and the individuals who teach it, and how it really lacks to address the proper teaching and the proper education that Florida State University should offer to its students, as it pertains to cultures and understandings that are not an individual's own. So we kind of attempted to narrow down the requirement and ask the administration and student affairs to bring in professors that reflect the class that's actually being taught. So we think this is a really important resolution in terms of just tackling the education aspect that FSU should obviously address. But with that, I yield.
All right, sponsor yields with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to her closing statement on resolution 76. With that being said, are there any technical non-debatable questions? Seeing no technical non-debatable questions, is there a motion to move into pro-con debate? Senator Wang.
So moved.
Is there a second? Senator Rudolph.
So seconded.
All right. So with that being said, we are in the first round of pro unless there's an objection. Seeing no objection, we're in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. And before any speakers who'd like to speak in pro get an opportunity to, I did just want to remind all the senators that when it comes time to vote on this piece of legislation, it requires a 2/3 in the affirmative to pass, because it is condemning or commending. In our language, it's if you commend or condemn, it needs 2/3. So that being said, Senator Randall, you may go.
I just have a point of information. When making this bill, did you talk with anybody at the Black Archives at FAMU about potential specific courses and things within Tallahassee's history or FSU's history that need to be done, or possibly anybody in the FSU history department or anything like that?
You may respond, sponsor.
To my knowledge, the other primary sponsor is not here, but I do not think so. But yeah.
Thank you. So does anybody wish to speak in the first round of pro? We still have 3 minutes on the clock because that was a point of information. All right, seeing none, we are in the first round of con with another 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to speak in con? Senator Gonzalez.
Yeah, just a point of information. I don't think we use the language condemn in this resolution. I think we do.
It's in the, I think it's in one of the, if you scroll down, Harmon, it's in the one of the whereases where it's like we condemn. Oh, no, does it? I'm not sure.
This is just about education. I don't think we condemn anything.
I think then that was about Resolution 80.
It is. Yeah.
I apologize. It's definitely past my bedtime. But with that being said, we are still in the second round or the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock. And disregard whatever I said about the 2/3 vote because it's not accurate for this specific resolution. With that being said, are there any motions to call the question, unanimous consent, acclamation, whatever it may be? Senator Chabot.
I move to pass by acclamation.
All right, Senator Wang.
So seconded.
All right, are there any objections to the passage of this by acclamation? Seeing none, Resolution 76 passes by acclamation. Congratulations, sponsor. There is no need for a closing statement. So with that being said, we are back on the calendar. We heard Resolution 77, which was sponsored by Senator Harmon. Resolution 78 rules, sponsored by SOHO's Rule 1.8 and 0.9, as currently written, inhibit the Senate President or Senate Pro Tempore from addressing the Senate in their defense other than a short round of pro-con debate, is referred to Rules 9.2. Resolution 79, sponsored by Adams, Gonzalez, Dean, Leckie, Martin, Rudd, and Sam, explained the issues Senate had to deal with over the summer of 2020, referred to the Student Life and Academic Affairs Committee on 9.2 and passed in SLAW on 9.8. Is there a motion to table 79 or did we want to hear it? The sponsors, if it's okay with you all, I would entertain a motion to table it, but Senator Chabot.
I move to table.
All right, 79, there's a motion to table. Senator Adams.
Yeah, I was just gonna object, but I think there needs to be a second first, seeing as this is the last piece of legislation tonight.
Is it? Okay, I wasn't sure about that, but if Senator Chabot, did you want to withdraw your motion to table?
Sure.
All right, with that being said, there's 5 minutes on the clock for the sponsors whenever they're ready to make their opening statement for Resolution 79. Adams is a sponsor. You can go ahead and you guys can get started whenever you're ready.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you for letting us hear this tonight, seeing as this is just the last piece of legislation. We are hoping to be able to pass this and make it quick. So the purpose of this resolution is to acknowledge the historic student involvement in the legislative process this summer and also affirm the need for more effective constituent communication. If you look at the sponsors of this resolution, you'll notice that we did not always agree on every issue. The issues of this summer were complex and deeply personal. And this isn't meant to bring up further debate on the nature of these issues. Rather, it's our hope that this will model solidarity, gratitude for the student advocacy, which is what drove this social progress, and accountability to take the lessons from this summer and use them to better serve the student body. And it's our hope that when future Senates look back on the summer of 2020, they will see the 72nd as a Senate body who didn't just face adversity, but made something meaningful and created impactful, lasting change for the student body. So that's it.
All right, do you guys yield, sponsors? All right, with that, sponsors yield 3 minutes and 47 seconds to their closing, 3:47. With that being said, are there any technical non-debatable questions for the sponsors in regards to Resolution 79? Seeing none, I will be entertaining a motion to move into pro-con debate. Any senators wishing to make that motion? Senator Mayman.
I move to a motion to move into pro-con debate. I just messed that up. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
I accept your motion. It is in order. Senator Rudd, do you second?
So seconded.
All right, with that said, are there any objections to going into a pro-con debate on Resolution 79? Seeing no objections being made, we are in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock. Any senators wishing to make a statement in the first round of pro with 3 minutes on the clock? Seeing none, we're in the first round of con with 3 minutes on the clock as well. Any senators wishing to speak in con? And if not, is there a motion to call the question or whatever it may be? Senator Mayman.
Move to pass by unanimous consent.
All right, there's a motion to pass by unanimous consent. Senator Silva.
So seconded.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to the motion of unanimous consent of Resolution 79? Seeing no objections, congratulations, sponsored, has been passed by unanimous consent. So woo, claps. And that was our final piece of legislation for the night. So moving forward on the calendar itself, Resolution 80, sponsored by Yanam and Mayman, Gonzalez, Wang, and Gertz, was the one that we heard. Prior to this, we unlocked the calendar for it. Resolution 81, sponsored by Adamik and Sohos, honoring the commitment and service of Dean Lachlan, who passed away this past school year. That one will be going to the Rules and Calendar Committee. Resolution 82, sponsored by Adams and Ferguson, Adamik, Chabot, Yanam, Gonzalez, Little Muget, Promozic, Sam, and Wang, recognizing the National Suicide Prevention Month, will be going to the Student Life and Academic Affairs Committee. Yeah, so that's where those are going to be assigned. With that, unfinished business. None. Statements of dissent. Any senators wishing to make a statement of dissent and place it on the table to be done and submitted to our advisors by 5 p.m. Well, at 12 on Fridays. That's what Deshaun expects. All right, seeing no statements of dissent being wished to make, we are in new business, and we don't have any new business. Closing announcements. We can start off. I know Genesis said she didn't have any, but we can start off if any senators have any closing announcements, and then we can go into the Senate, legislative officers. Yeah, go ahead, Senator Gonzalez.
Yeah, so I'm sorry to keep you guys a little bit longer, but I really, really wanted to get this off. So engraved in the steps of HCB, it says, among other things, we have established that the university can tolerate dissent and preserve order and freedom. Peaceful dissent in a university is a kind of love. It means students care enough about the institution to want to make it better. It means they are, in fact, willing to commit themselves to making it better, more just, more humane. And the university, if it is worthy of the name, becomes this prodding. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Gonzalez. This was a beautiful quote. With that, Clerk Roy, did you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, good evening, Senate. So I want to thank you all for your time and your work tonight. And last week, I wasn't able to make the weekly announcements as I conflicted with another one. However, I plan to promote Senator Silva's announcement promoting the JSU's GroupMe with this upcoming email, as well as Chair Notham's announcements. And I wanted to reach out again and say that if anyone has an event, whether it be in the nearby Tallahassee community, an RSO here at FSU, just reach out to me through GroupMe, through Instagram, and I'll make sure to add it in the Senate announcement this Friday. As well, I look forward to helping do these to promote our engagement, because as senators, we should be engaging in our community. And as per the weekly leadership quotes, I want to share this gem by JFK. Now, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. Make sure to take some time this semester to find the things that you're passionate about and that you see as important issues, and make sure that as student leaders, you do work towards these, because these really are positions where you can help bring change here in our school and the Student Senate. And I hope that you all have an amazing night, a productive semester, and welcome back Parliamentarian Alvarez. I meant to say that last week, but I'll say it today. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Roy. With that, Parliamentarian Alvarez, did you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Understanding that currently the position of liaison to the Veteran Student Union is vacant, I will take up the responsibility in the meantime for asking that all the members of the Senate and all members present to take a second to thank and recognize the sacrifices done by our service members, particularly the first responders of EMTs and firefighters out in the West Coast. I have a lot of personal friends who are currently working on the fire crews in California, Oregon, and Washington, and I would hope that you take some time today and the days coming to keep them in your thoughts, pray for their safety, and that they can all come home fairly soon. And aside from that, the first week back as parliamentarian has already been quite an adventure. I've been working with President Pro Tempore Alex Harmon on setting up a report on the current language of Senate Rule 14.4. And so once I finalize some things with him and the Senate President, that will be published and made available to the entirety of the Senate. If there are any other senators, chairs, or vice chairs that have any pertinent statutory, constitutional, or parliamentary issues that they would like a report written on as well, please always feel free to reach out to me and I can get started working on one of those. Additionally, if there are any members of any committees that would like me to attend their committee meetings to ensure that their committee rules are being abided by and interpreted in a fair and even manner, reach out to me ahead of time and I'll see if I can make time in my schedule to come and assist with that. Otherwise, seems like most folks are getting back into the swing of things and how our procedures work here, making my job easier. And I hope that that is a positive trend that continues onward. As always, know your rights, know your responsibilities, and have a good rest of your day and good rest of your week. See you next week.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Alvarez. Pro Temp Harmon.
Hello, everybody. This was a good meeting. I'm a little tired. I'm sure you guys are too. Just when voting, just make sure you're here to vote. Makes it really hard to do my job. I sit here for like 5 hours trying to do votes tomorrow when you guys are in and out. So please just help me a little bit. Attendance, just submit your absentee forms. Those are on the SGA website. For the new senators, I'd like to congratulate you for being appointed to Senate. If you ever need any help, I'm sure President Darrell-Deek will help with any questions, but I'm always open as well because I know this is brand new. I know you've been asking a lot of questions in the chat and I've been trying to help you, but I think it would be beneficial if you met with us so that we can explain, because I have a whole little slideshow that I showed everybody. So that'd be nice to show you too, so you know everything, where you need to get everything and whatnot. And then in regards to rules and calendar, so one of my goals with rules and calendar was to look over the rules of procedure of the Senate. And it's a little hard to do that when rules are changing every 2 seconds from senators. And as much as I like that you're paying attention to our rules. I'd like us to focus on them for a little bit. So I'm asking just nicely if we could refrain from trying to change them. I mean, by all means, go ahead, but like, I just kind of want to have all the chairs look over it and maybe make recommendations as to what we should change. That way, you know, a formal committee can look over them. And that's before, you know, y'all send it through and then we have to debate about it and all that stuff. But by all means, send in those. I'm not stopping you from doing that. And then after that, have a great night. I'm tired.
Thank you, Pro Tem Harmon. Yeah, I definitely wanted to echo the same sentiments. I appreciate you guys for, you know, being active tonight. I definitely think that we could have been a little more active. You know, I know personally that it can be a little exhausting, you know, through Zoom. It's just like people talking at you. It's like, you know, it's definitely not as united and as fun as it is in person. You get to stand up, you get to do a lot of different things when we're in the chambers. But I still urge you all to please, you know, in the future meetings, turn on your cameras, be, you know, active, speak in pro, speak in con, make motions, make amendments, do the job of a senator. You know, that's all I ask, please. And, you know, beyond that, I want to say I do appreciate how, you know, the debate, even though there could have been more debate. I think that overall it was a great night. You know, I'm happy with the work that we're doing. I'm happy to keep pushing us forward and to keep making the change that the student body needs to see. Besides that, I did want to say also to the new senators, congratulations. I will be doing my best to reach out to you guys in the next few days before the weekend, just so we can get you guys appointed to a committee, have a conversation, you know, with Pro Tem Harmon and myself, and just have a conversation about what you expect within the Senate. And also, I did want to say that that is something that we look forward to doing with all the senators. You know, chairs, vice chairs, and all the senators. Me and Pro Tem Harmon are, you know, working on making our schedule line up to where we have an opportunity for you guys to, you know, have conversations with us if that's something you'd like to do. You know, we definitely want to touch base with all the senators and make sure you guys are able to accomplish the goals you set for yourselves and accomplish the goals you set for your constituents. And then another piece I wanted to add is, you know, we're working as a Senate leadership to have a town hall for the Student Senate. Basically, the people who would be in attendance and kind of, you know, running that would be, you know, the people required would be me, the pro tempore, having our committee chairs, the 5 standing committees, the 2 funding board committee chairs, as well as the 2 ad hoc committee chairs. So we would have 9 total committee chairs, the pro temp and myself, and then we would most likely have the press secretary kind of facilitating that situation. I did just want to keep it on your radar. We haven't officialized a date yet, but hopefully by the end of this week, hopefully by, you know, early next week, we'll have that more finalized and more information for you all in regards to how that will go about and how you guys can, you know, let our constituents know, let the people that care about Senate and have things that they want to tell us be able to come and tell us in an atmosphere and, you know, a space that's more appropriate for it, rather than just coming in on open comments and not feeling like they have an opportunity to actually be heard. You know, this will be more intimate. I feel like I've said so much. I do want to end, but I want to also remind you guys about finance, the financial certification exam. If you have not taken it yet, and you have been serving for 3 weeks as a senator, if you do not take it by the time that we get the report from the finance office, you will be suspended until further notice, because you will not be allowed to vote. You will not be allowed to have, you know, the duties that you conduct as a senator to be happening because you are not financially certified. This is definitely serious. This is definitely something that you all need to know, because we voted on money tonight. You know what I mean? We're voting constantly on transfer of different funds to different programs and different organizations. So it's very important that we're financially certified. Yeah, I think that covers it for me. I do say sorry. You know, I talk a lot, you know, it happens, but I really just feel like I had so much I wanted to tell you guys. Wednesdays are honestly my favorite night. You know, some people don't like coming to Wednesday Senate. I've been doing it since my freshman fall. I love it. But with that, there's no more announcements from me. If there's no more announcements from the senators or advisors, you guys can take it away. And then after that, we will do our final roll call. Deshaun, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, awesome. Dr. B, Dr. Bowden.
Just wanted to say welcome to our newest senators. Also wanted to share that for the list of students that have passed away, if you know of any students that are not on that list, please make sure you get them to Pro Tem Harmon or myself. We do hold a ceremony for our students every spring semester. Obviously, it didn't happen this past spring, but we would double up this coming spring, and we certainly don't want to miss any of our students. And so if you know that there is not a name on there, please make sure we get it, and we want to make sure we honor our Seminoles. And with that, it's been a long night. Thank you all for hanging in there.
Thank you, Dr. B. And then Annie, our graduate student, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Thank you for showing up tonight, y'all, and I'm looking forward to next week and the coming weeks of seeing how all this comes together. Have a good night, everyone. I have nothing else.
Oh, amazing, guys. I appreciate everybody for coming. Pro Temp Harmon, if you want to do the final roll call, and then we can adjourn. That'll be very exciting.
Don't mind if I do. All right. Senator Adam Meek, Marcia McMillan McKay. All right. Adam Meek, Marcia McMillan McKay. Nope. Wrecked. Akonda Bateman Gertz Little. Akonda Bateman Gertz Little. Senator Selva, Fahey, Rossi, Mouget. All right. Selva, Fahey, Rossi, Mouget. Shaler, Wilkinson, Promozic, England. Shaler, Wilkinson, Promozic, England. Senator Wang, Hazlett, Yanam, Hall. Wang, Hazlett, not here. Yanam, I saw you, okay. Senator Hall, you were here for a little bit, okay. Senator Shanahan, Ryan, okay. Senator Lecky, Sam Gonzalez. Sam is not here. Gonzalez A, sorry, A Gonzalez. Got to remember. But I'll get you our Gonzalez as well. Denton, Martin, Adams, Pendleton. Denton, Martin, Adams, Pendleton. Abston, Sohos, Diaz, Ferguson. Ferguson, awesome. Mayman, Dean, Pedroso, Ascanio. Okay, Mayman, Dean. Oh, Dean left. Yeah, I forgot. Pedroso. Oh, see you. Okay. Ascanio, not here. Rudolph, Medley, Neyra, and Tooks. There we go. Okay. Tooks. We're here. Tooks. Okay. Ross, Chabot, Kalink, Lewis. All right. Kalink, Chabot. Ross and Lewis. All right. Alvarez, Waters, Stinson, Gonzalez, R Gonzalez. Alvarez. Oh, I see Alvarez here anyways. Waters, Stinson, Gonzalez, R Gonzalez, and Rudd. And Kill. All right, that is all.
I guess a motion to adjourn. I usually just adjourn, but I feel like I guess a motion's more appropriate. Senator Abston.
So move.
All right, with that, we're adjourned, guys, at 11:32 p.m.
Okay, I know the new, sorry, I forgot to call the new senators. I know you guys are here, so I will mark you down.
Okay. Let's bye, everybody. Have a fantastic night. See you all next week, and the weeks after that, and after that, and after that. Bye. Great night, guys.
Yes. Good night, y'all.
It was hilarious.